Let's go live, everyone. Hello and welcome to session 5 of Land Beyond the Mist. I am joined today with 2 new and 2 returning adventurers to the Mist, so this will be a pretty fun party composition I'm excited for. And I guess without further ado, let's jump in and play. I've been kind of itching to make it happen. We should introduce everyone to our characters before I just, force you to start role-playing. Alright, let's introduce especially the newcomers first. Let us start in just an order of the cameras that I see them, with Beam. Why don't you introduce yourself and your character and who you've brought to the table today?
Yeah, I am Beam. I am playing Wolfbeard. He's a dwarf. He is very bald. No, very dwarf, but he's also very bald.
Nice.
He wears a dented horned helmet with a face guard. He's got a black tabard. He's got a big dwarf beard with lots of, little steel rings in it with cool runes on them. And he is wielding a shield and a morning star.
Excellent.
When he smiles, you can see some golden teeth, some broken teeth. He's a rough and tough dwarf.
Awesome.
And also he's got a green shoulder pad with a picture of a little pig on.
The picture of a little pig. Well,
yeah, or a big pig that.
Oh, a big pig. All right.
Don't worry about it.
All right. I won't. I'm sorry. So what has brought Wolfbeard over to the Mists? It sounds like he's rough and tumble, or they're rough and tumble, ready for adventure. What is your reasons for being here, I guess?
So Wolfbeard used to be a mercenary. Mm-hmm. He did mercenary things. Then eventually the leader of the mercenary group died. And due to some internal struggles with this guy being the boss now, but people not liking what he is doing, and then there's some I want to be the boss, I want to be the boss. Eventually it just collapsed in on itself, and people kind of went off doing their own things. Some of them stayed with the now smaller group, some ran off somewhere. Wolfbeard ran off somewhere. He went to some cool place where it seemed like he could find, money, other things, and just sort of keep the name of the mercenary group, the Big Pigs, alive.
I like it. All right. Well, you have definitely come to a good place to earn money and renown, should you acquit yourself well. I am excited to see him. So that'll bring us to Mad Hatter. Welcome to Land Beyond the Mist. Why don't you introduce yourself and the character you've brought?
Thank you very much. Today I'm bringing Vinnie Montaigne, a elf journalist coming from the big city to get the big scoop on the locations and groups in the land beyond the mists. Coming over here because my boss sent me, and in no world would I want to be here, but there's a big story going on, and I'm ready to collect the big paycheck.
I can appreciate that gumption and stick-to-itiveness to come do a job you don't want to do. Okay, tell me, journalist, what's the paper you work for? What are you like? Describe your life as a journalist here? What is this?
Okay, work for the Capital Herald, I believe it's called.
Okay.
And my main job was street side journalism, and watching a very simple interview netted me a job in the land beyond the mists. So coming up here, and I'm ready with my trusty little notepad to write down everything so I can send it to my boss and potentially not be sent back here again.
Oh, that is a very fun character. I am excited to see you explore the mists. Awesome. Well, that'll bring us to our returning players. Let's start over to the other side with Irator. Why don't you remind us who you've brought to the table and just a little introduction.
Yes, I'm Neril Rootholm, and older halfling, pretty small for a halfling, 36 years old, has this green robe, nothing else really, he has barefoot, doesn't wear a helmet or anything, that has a deep green and this yellow dwarven script along the arms and shoulder, that even if you can read Dwarven, you can probably not read. It's in a different language.
Okay.
It's in Terran. It's written in Terran. It's a hearting gift. And, well, other than that, large eyes, light brown skin, and auburn hair. And, otherwise, well, he's a typical wizard in the sense that he's here because there are many secrets to unlock in these lands.
Mm-hmm. And
as it turns out, also a lot of bandits to kill, but that will maybe come up this session, maybe not. Other than that, he became a wizard pretty late, and was a cook before, and still is a cook, just not his main occupation anymore. And researches the elemental plane of Earth, and tries to find maybe some connections here. And maybe the Sunken Fort will be it, maybe not, but we'll see.
All right. Well, how did your interaction? I believe you went to the abandoned monastery and fought some bandits last time. How does that
not
play
so
on your
abandoned
mind?
monastery. well, I'm obviously pretty angry about what went down, but it's not like this hot, I have to immediately take revenge kind of anger, but I hated bandits before, and this is just one more thing. Okay. So I'm content with looking around, maybe acquire some riches. If I'm not the one that's going to kill them, I at least can put another bounty on them to get other people to kill them.
All right.
So,
well, the bounty board is growing with bandit quests. I do appreciate that.
Exactly.
Well, we'll see if you run into any bandits along your way to the Sunken Fort is where we're going. That brings us to Tamer. You are last but certainly not least. Go ahead and reintroduce yourself and your character to us.
Tamer, I don't know who you're talking about. This is Churro here.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry. Churro, yes. Please tell us about your character that you've brought today.
Thank you. Well, I came to this area as a pauper, poor man, looking for his own adventure, cast out of society, of his homeland and everything like that. And now he's just an extraordinaire. He's a rich man. He's pouncing around like so happy and dance for newfound fortune. First quest, found a king's ransom. He suspects drug money, but he has no concerns for this, and is just feeling pretty well, feeling pretty good, just going out spending it all every day, just him and his loot, and just pretty happy.
Well, that is excellent to hear, Churu. It seems that your experiences in the mists have been quite a happy one compared to the experiences we've seen from other characters. Does that lead to any interesting encounters in the bar? Like, how does that impact Churu and his, splendor of living with his ransom of money?
Oh, it affects his splendor greatly. He started off very, very dour, kind of thinking this was maybe a bad idea, bad move. Whenever to move to a new place, you always wonder, is this a good change in my life and everything? And now he's just drinking champagne, Cristal popping every second. He's got 5 bottles on call every time he enters the Cloak and Stagger. He's just like, bottle service, please. And for all the tables around, it's just wow. It's a different life here. Frontier life is just...
It's good living.
It's amazing. Very much.
All right. Well,
to the audience. Shh, it's really me. It's Tamer. It's me. Shh. That's it.
I am sure you had everyone fooled. I mean, Churu, of course it's you. So, the 4 of you are collected in the Cloak and Stagger. Churu once again has bottle service, is more than happy to take his gold to bring over some of the absolute finest. And the 4 of you have come together today to explore, not that screen, the Sunken Fort. I believe, I'm not mistaken here, am I?
That's correct.
All right, excellent. Where or how many preparations do you need to do here? Is there anything you want to get done in town before we head off, or are you the four of you ready to finish off the last of the bottle here in the Cloak and Stagger and make for the Sunken Fort?
The only thing I can think of is maybe ask around if anyone knows anything about the Sunken Fort. Though, judging by previous inquiries about similar things, probably not that much. But
General
maybe.
information is still good to have.
I'm sorry, Beam, I missed that. What did you say?
Oh, sorry. I said general information is still good to have.
I always forget how the person running the tavern is called. So.
That is Owitha, the bartender. Bartender owner. She's an older woman, usually wears her hair pulled back in a bun. She has the hard, weathered lines of age and adventure written on her face. And is not generally a, overly... happy-go-lucky person, but is quite thrilled that Churu is spending all of his found fortune in her bar, so is of better spirits than normal as she goes around today. So, Beam, you said that the general information would be good. How does Wolfbeard get that general information? What are you looking for, or how do you get it?
No, he just shouts, Madam! Madam!
Oh, yes. What can I do for you?
We are heading towards the Sunken Fort. Do you know anything about this place?
Oh, no. I have very little information about the Sunken Fort. In fact, it's one of the more newly carved things on that table. Somebody came by, I was about 10 years ago, and carved it on there, said they couldn't get inside of it. It was occupied. They didn't say with what, but the look on their face made me think that perhaps a friend or two was lost along the way. But the market they did seems that not a very popular spot to go explore since then. Perhaps people had the same feel that I did for lost companions.
Understandable. What about the way? Sorry. What about the way over there?
Oh well, it goes through the lizard marsh. You'll know it, of course, as the kind of local swamp. Lots of biting things and hard tracks. I've heard that there are many lizards and lizard folk, and even small kobolds that make their home there. When I adventured, I spent more of my time in the hills, but it's usually slow going, and people come back here, they always reek. It's an extra stench, I swear.
Anyone else? Got anything to ask about?
Is there anyone else that might know something about this?
Not that I know of off the top of my head. Sunken Fort, as I said, not the most attractive place for adventurers. I don't see that many. Or at least I don't
Madam,
hear of them.
You said that the last people that came here didn't have any info other than the looks on their faces?
They carved it as a location, and called it the Sunken Fort, said that they saw it, but they couldn't get in. It's occupied something terrible.
Well, gentlemen, we'll, looks like we're going to be the first ones to report on this story.
Suits me fine. Means nothing's been stolen already. More for us, maybe.
All right.
I think I've
Appreciate
heard
your
for
time,
some.
madam.
Yes, thanks.
And it looks like we're going to have to make preparations for the Sunken Fort. I believe we discussed something along the lines of oil and chalk. Anywhere
Yes.
you can procure some of that?
I would suggest the market. There's all kinds of adventuring goods there. But unfortunately, I don't have any of that here in the tavern. Mostly just good booze.
All right. Well, If nobody else has any questions, we'll be out of your hair and get to buying our supplies.
Well, excellent. I wish you good fortune on your journeys. May you come back once again with riches in your pockets.
Thank you. Rock and stone.
Rock and stone.
Dwarven saying.
Oh, is that that? Oh, good. I'll write that down. That may help me with my dwarven patrons. All right. So you leave with if you would like, you can purchase chalk and any other basic adventuring gear from book prices at the market. Large kind of open air market in the Farfield Keep that keeps adventurers well stocked. It is a good trade here in Farfield, as many people like to go out and see what they can find among the unknown lands.
All right. So, do we need to find out how much the chalk is worth?
Do
ourselves,
you
or
need me
have-
to look it up for you? I will pull up chalk for you real quick.
There's 1 copper per piece,
Yep.
and no way to speed off.
You are
No way?
correct. Yeah. I think usually weightless items are like 10 to a pound. But I don't really care if you are tracking your chalk. It's if you get some crayons, man, you can
All right.
keep a
10
lot of
copper
crayons.
pieces worth of chalk.
Sure.
We'll just chalk it up to that.
Hey, perfect.
Hey.
I'll buy it.
All right. You spend a couple copper. You are rocking some premier chalk, and
Charcoal, can we find that?
sure. I don't think charcoal is listed as a basic equipment,
think
so I think that the process of creating charcoal has probably got to be very similar to chalk. Let's call it a copper piece, the same as chalk, and you can find somebody selling good briquettes of charcoal for you.
10 more copper pieces for the charcoal as well.
Hey, 10 more copper. I hear you.
All right. We got charcoal. We got chalk.
Yeah.
Anything else we need? We were discussing. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I figure that since this fort is sunken, perhaps there are underwater segments of it. And we might want to try breathing underwater, so maybe we should get some sort of way to do that. I've seen people use air bladders or similar things. Just keep around your mouth. Think we can find any of those?
I think as you begin asking around the kind of just market here, a lot of people don't really understand the concept of that, and it doesn't seem that air bladders are readily available for sale. You do see a particular craftsman who kind of knuckles his long mustache as he looks at you and considers your thing. Says, "Well, I could probably line the stomach of a sheep and craft something similar to that." He looks at you for a moment and goes, "How long do you want to stay underwater? I would imagine that even if we were to use a sheep's stomach, the time that you could breathe freely inside of it would be quite low. Maybe a matter of a few minutes at most."
A few minutes would be probably sufficient. Probably. I don't want to be underwater longer than I have to anyway.
He thinks, he goes, it would take me some time to put it together, and it's a new concept for me. If it proves valuable, I could probably begin selling them, make a nice little profit here to other adventurers doing the same thing. I'll tell you what, I'll put together a prototype. It'll take me time, labor, materials. We'll call it 5 gold pieces, and I will give you 1 for each of you. And if it works, tell me. And perhaps we can find some kind of deal in the future to get you either a nice discount on them or maybe a kickback of some kind as they become more profitable.
Sure.
Excellent.
Well, we're on this, actually.
Yes.
I've been thinking of maybe also a waterproof bag. I don't know, if we find scrolls, similar thing, that we don't want getting wet. It could be useful.
For scrolls in
figured.
particular, you might not need me at all. They'll sell waterproof scroll cases.
Okay, of course.
Yes. If you want something for your whole bag, the same process I'm doing to seal a sheep's stomach could probably be done to a bag. Call it a. Well, it's going to be a fair bit of material for your whole bag. He eyes the, like, bulging gear that you all have carried around. We'll call it a gold piece per, and I'll seal up your bags to make them nice and waterproof.
That seems reasonable. I look at my companions. I am broke. Does any of you have money?
How much did this cost?
He'll do 5 GP for a prototype working of like sealed sheepskin to work as an air bladder for each of you. So, or that'll be 5 GP for the 4 prototypes, and then 1 GP per bag that you would like waterproofed.
5 VG for the 4 prototypes, and
4 for the
One-
bags.
okay, perfect.
Now, if
Sounds
you guys
great.
don't want to participate in this, then of course you don't have to. It just means I won't have it.
And Churro raises his hand and says, hey, better to have not need than need not have, and we might have need for this, but we'd have no need for more money than we need not need.
Yes.
The craftsman knuckling his mustache listens to this. He's like, I like this guy. He knows what's up. All right, so
just give me a total that I can distract from my sheet.
okay, yes. If you're getting everyone's bag sealed and you want the prototype air bladders, then that will be 9 gold pieces.
Easy.
Excellent. So you hand over 9 gold pieces. The craftsman remarks and happily gets on his way. He says you'll need a day to craft them, but we can hand wave a day's worth of crafting and set forth when they're ready.
No encounter rolls in town?
No, well, we could roll, but it's a 0 on a d6. I don't think I can. No,
You never know.
no. So far, it appears a day's worth of no encounters. Unfortunately.
Good luck's on our
right.
side.
I'm sorry. What was that, Mad Hatter? I missed it.
We got luck on our side.
Ah, you do.
No,
so far.
no, we're spending all our good luck early in the session. That's terrible.
All right. So the next day you can get your finished bags and your prototype air bladders. He's got a pretty good sized sheepskin, and it is sealed with some kind of like fat. There's this like net of intestinal fat around it, and it is sewn together. It appears to be a probably. I don't know. If it's full of air, I'm thinking about the size of 2 basketballs. Does that seem about right? And you think that you could probably get 2 whole minutes of underwater breathing with this apparatus.
Very good.
All right. Deflated, I'm going to imagine that these don't weigh all that much. So a negligible weight. Maybe we'll count them the same way we count like all weightless things in 5e. Like 10 will be a pound. Otherwise, it's just excess. All right. So you have sealed your bags. You have gotten some cool breathing apparatuses. Bought some chalk and charcoal. Got some basic information about the Sunken Fort. Anything else you'd like to do before heading out, or are we ready to hit the road?
I'm all good.
All right.
I'm good.
I think that's it.
Excellent. So the 4 of you head out from Farfield Keep, heading towards the Sunken Fort. So what I would like to see is who is going to act as navigator for the party.
Yeah.
We
let's see if
discussed
you-
this briefly. Who has the highest wisdom survival?
I've got
Not
3.
me.
I think 3 may be the highest here.
Oh no.
All right, Wolfbeard.
I definitely have a 0, so...
It sounds like you've been volunteered by your party to be navigator. You
Looks like
taken
it.
that role?
I guess.
Okay, awesome. So, at the start of our travel day, you're starting in Farfield Keep. What I want from you is a pace that your party will be traveling at for the day, or at least that you start the day with, and your kind of a route that you're declaring. Like, where are you going on your first day of travel?
West, I presume.
Going west. Okay, perfect.
Wait, if I may propose something, if we go
Yes.
west immediately, we will probably come into the swamp sooner than later. If we go northwest and edge a bit around the swamp, and then go west when we are like a bit more north, then we may cut the journey through the swamp short by 1 or 2 hexes, which may be advisable given that our survival is not all that great.
If you think that's the best idea, then we can do that.
I like the idea. Survival's good. And I go back to strumming.
Right. Yes, we'll
All right.
we'll do that.
All right, so more of a northwesterly to the edge of the swamp is your hope. And what pace are you going at?
I was thinking just normal, unless anyone has any other ideas.
Okay, so there are 3 paces to the custom travel system. There's
Yeah,
slow,
yeah.
medium, and fast. When you say normal, I'm assuming that you're gonna mean medium. I just
medium,
want
yes.
to. Okay. Perfect. Excellent. So you head out at a normal, medium traveling pace, going through the pasture lands, leaving Farfield Keep as you do. Wolfbeard, as the navigator, please make me a survival wisdom check for navigation. It's a bit
Yeah.
easier here the first day, as most of your travel will be through the kind of pasture lands and small towns and villages that dot the landscape. It's tough
a level for
going,
you.
but you can mostly make sure you're heading northwest. You see a number of people kind of pass you by along the way. They hail you as adventurers and, give you good tidings upon your journey. So
Tell
as
them
you're
rock and
going,
stone, that's about them. Sorry.
no, feel free to interrupt me.
Oh, I just tell them like rock and stone as we go past.
Rock and stone begins spreading throughout the villages and towns. They're very impressed by this new saying that they have heard. Excellent. So tell me, as I roll for encounters here, what is it like with the 4 of you traveling through here? How do you spend your day of travel as you prepare to make your way into the swamp?
Well, it's kind of tough being the person in front, not being a particularly experienced navigator. He's gone through the wilderness before, Wolfbeard, but he's never been the person in charge of this, so this is kind of unusual. The pace is kind of weird, right? Because he's trying to go a bit faster, because he knows that people who are not dwarves go slightly faster overall, which makes him a little like... But he's stubborn, so he doesn't, back down or anything. He doesn't slow down.
Excellent.
I'd imagine
probably.
Go ahead.
I'll probably just talk with the travelers here and there that we meet. Maybe inquire about if there's anything, any attacks that they heard of along in the outlying farms that may have where news may have reached the inner farms. And I'll probably talk with my party members about what they like to eat. So if I'm going to cook in the evening, that I have some idea.
I like food.
I'd imagine I'm chatting up the more experienced adventurers, getting on top of their heads with talking about what they've seen and such, more or less coming up with headlines. What you could assume about when we succeed, not if, when we succeed with discovering the Sunken Fort, and generally just making inquiries.
Making inquiries. But lots of chatter, it seems like, talking to people about headlines, getting their opinions on the swamp, talking to the pedestrians along the way. Very good. You hear that there's some incursions that come from either the fields to the north or the swamps to the west. Usually monsters in small bands that might pick off a sheep or two or three. But the people around here are kind of used to dealing with such things. The monsters have never come in a force that they more than to pilch a pig here or there and take it off with them. As no stories of terrible fights and wars with the creatures out here yet. It seems that the pasture lands out here are fairly safe. You spend a good bit of your day walking through this kind of easygoing wilds until they begin to fade away. The towns become further and further apart until they disappear, kind of entirely, leaving you to yourselves. The land begins to become marshier, and it traverses the full kind of plain and pasture into large ferns and long grasses that kind of begin rising up until you start seeing small trees as well. As you enter the marsh itself, it becomes thick and heavy, and your pace slows. It becomes much harder to make it through. As you're traveling through here in the late afternoon, finally getting into the swamp proper, you begin to hear singing off into the distance. Close enough that the singing carries through the swamp, but far enough away that you don't see the source of it immediately, but all four of you hear it. It sounds to be a kind of beautiful voice. Whoever is singing is clearly singing they're well trained. They're very good voice. They seem to be singing in some kind of foreign tongue. You would think it reminds you of Elven almost, if you've heard an Elvish singer in a bar or perhaps in the Cloak and Stagger itself. But there's something off about it that's not quite Elvish. And it gives you that memory of it as you listen. What do you do here in as you hear the singing ring out through the swamp?
Is it clear enough that I can make out the lyrics of it since I am Elvish?
Do you speak Sylvan or Elvish?
Elvish.
Okay. So I likened Elvish and Sylvan to like Spanish and Portuguese. Like you could probably make out lyrics, but it's going to be like not a one-for-one kind of translation. So I think what I would like for you, you're half Elven, so this is just kind of innate. What skill do you think is best representative of like kind of making that translation happen between similar but not perfect languages?
Either an intelligence or insight check. Probably probably charisma.
I kind of like intelligence. Charisma would work too. I think charisma would be more like maybe your knowledge of song and your knowledge of like the written word as a journalist maybe coming into play, and intelligence being more like you were taught this language is something that you've memorized. Insight is an interesting skill choice. Sure, I think that insight work. I would accept either an intelligence insight or a charisma insight check to try to get the gist of what is being sung about here.
All right. I will do an intelligence check, considering I have 1 point in that and 0 in all else.
Perfect.
Right.
7.
While it is recognizably Sylvan to you, for whatever reason, whether it's maybe the words are in verse, or that the kind of just the singing of it just changes the pronunciation enough that you don't quite get it, you are unable to get a good translation of the song, although you are quite certain that the song is of a happy tune, right? This is a song that evokes good emotions, happiness, mirth, though you're not entirely certain of the exact meaning of the words.
Could I cast Comprehend Language as a ritual?
Sure. You want to wait for 10 minutes and ritual cast Comprehend Language?
Yes, please. And
Okay.
also, I would like to play along if it's a happy tune. It would give Churro kind of drive to match it, to join it.
Okay.
Possibly while this is maybe the somatic parts of comprehend language. He'll work that into his.
Sure. So part of your ritual for comprehending is kind of softly playing along on your lyre.
Yes.
Very good. Okay. Cool. So the rest of you see Churu kind of begin to pluck along on the lyre, softly mimicking the melody of this song that you're hearing. What do you do for these 10 minutes? Does the party do anything, or are you just waiting for Churu to finish?
The Wolfbeard is grumbling about not liking swamp singers because it is weird and creepy, and he's perpetually having a frown right now. And look at this.
I kind of take a patrol around to gaze around the surroundings to make sure nothing's rolling up on us. In the meanwhile, while he's casting it.
Okay. All right.
Yes. I had played with the idea of also casting that ritual in my way, but since we already have one that's doing it, I will probably just keep watch and maybe keep an ear out if the voice goes away from us, so we may have to move if we want to go after it.
Okay. Let's see if the song continues for 10 minutes. The song does, in fact, continue for 10 minutes. So, as you sit and keep watch, the swamp is full of life, and you see small lizards and birds and the occasional bounce off of small kind of mammals in the underbrush. But you don't see anything that alerts you to danger or any kind of monster incursion during the 10 minutes. Churu, you play along and you cast comprehend languages, and while I do not have a entire rhyming song prepared, the lyrics of the song are about elven myth that you may or may not be aware of two lost lovers of the elven court who have had to go on kind of separate quests, as is normal for quests of the kind of old, or the elves of the old ways, to reenact the myths and legends. So if they have taken or been given different noble roles, then they would go and fulfill those to continue the kind of elvish traditions in the current time. And having been reunited at last, they sing a sweet song that is blessed by the passing of a unicorn, and it creates a piece of rest and respitement that they enjoy before fate once again takes them another way.
Okay. I tell this to the group about the song. I kind of translate it midway with possibly my own cognizance in common, and hopefully they'll get the gist of what the song means. I ask, do we want to investigate or do we want to continue? We have a quest already, but
We will probably not find.
Does the voice directly intersect our path?
No.
Or is it off to the side?
It's off. You are trying to head kind of northwest, deeper into the swamp, and this voice is off to your 2-3 left. It is off to your west, some distance, far enough away that you don't see the source of it, but close enough that you hear it clearly.
That's kind of in a way, and we may not meet any more friendly creatures in the swamp anytime soon. But this does not need to be a friendly encounter, but there's the chance, so I would investigate.
Yes, it could also be a trick where it lures us in and eats our innards when we show up.
Well,
yeah, that's possible too, actually.
I like to keep
It's
my
fair.
insides on the inside.
I have my magic, you have your weapons. If that's the case, then we know what to do.
I mean, why would there be a random seeker in a swamp? Is my question. So,
Hey, I go strumming. Hey.
other than you, of course, Mr. Churu. I'm highly into the path of it's leading us to somewhere not malevolent. So whatever we come to, we should be careful at the very least if we go after it.
We can do.
Vote. Quick vote. Yes, no. Yes, right now. Raise your hand. Huh. No, raise your hand. 1-1.
1-1.
But
Rock, paper, scissors. Who's doing it?
The party
I
does
don't,
seem
you know-
fairly split on this. Are you gonna rock,
Very
paper,
tricky.
scissors to see if you go or not?
I'm down for the rock, paper, scissors.
okay, let's do it.
All right. Rock,
Rock,
paper,
paper,
scissors,
scissors.
shoot. I got it.
Okay,
Oh.
We're not
fine.
going.
Oh, well.
Oh, are we doing best out of 3?
Perfectly fine. No, I'm happy with the results.
Okay.
I
So
am willing to abide by losing.
it seems
fair
after engaging in the sacred rite of Rochambeau, Beam and Vinny have decided to avoid this strange singing from the swamp about elven times and continue on your path. And so you leave the beautiful singing behind you and continue going through the swamp. Eventually, it does fade away, and you continue on. So I assume you're going to continue on at the same pace. Nothing has really changed there. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. And it becomes kind of late in the swamp. You see the sun setting and going down, and you are beginning to think about how you might begin spending your first night at camp here. When one is Beam. Wolfbeard, you spot out of the corner of your eye something very interesting. Well, it's not so much out of the corner of your eye, but they're trying to stay stealthy, it seems, in the kind of swamps around you. There are a number of lizard folk, counting exactly 3, that are skirting around the low hanging ferns and tall kind of shrubs of the marsh here, and they seem to be carrying around gems on their backs. They have kind of strapped onto their backs this kind of half open sack, and in the inside the sack and through the waning light filtering through the swamp, you see the glitter of gemstones on it. They are in the general vicinity of where you're going, close enough that you are able to spot them despite their slow movements, but they do not seem to have found the party yet. They are sneaking along kind of on all fours. What do you do?
I sort of whispered to the others, hey, look over there. Look at them.
You said they look how like humanoids? Or
They are
Like
very
on
much lizard folk.
right.
They got gems in the bags. Look,
sweet.
Wasn't there
nice.
some talk about some shaman attacking people?
Does any of these
that-
look shamanistic?
No. These don't have the kind of long robes and the kind of fetishes that were described as being longing to the shaman.
Those lizard folks, they're quite bastards, you know. They'll take you and they'll sleep you, and you'll have a nice sleep and everything, and you'll feel very arrested. But in actuality, your teammate is saving your life, you know. Crazy people.
Like,
So
they
what do we
maybe
say?
deserve a good whacking. And we deserve some good sacks of gems.
I
How we
suppose we
feeling?
do.
Say we should attack them.
So we should attack them. And I sort of pat my morning stuff.
Do we get a
And,
count of them?
shake my hand because it's spiky.
Did we get a count of how many they are, or not yet?
You did
You
get a
see-
count. There was 3.
Yeah.
3.
We see 3. But when attacking things, we have to remember this is their swamp. We could be getting into something we don't know, you know. Not saying we shouldn't, not saying we should. You know, life's risky, you know. But yeah, you avoided risk, which was a great singing before. You know, awesome singing. You know, I'm sad we missed that, but The risk you want is attacking lizard folks. That's all I'm saying,
I don't feel
you know?
comfortable with this. We have bandits around, hobgoblins around. They attack people. Well, lizard folk also seem to attack people, but you were probably in their grove. Don't need every single faction in the vicinity to be angry at us.
Got gems though.
All right, I'll abstain.
We could
I'll
talk
leave
to
it up
them
the
or try to
experienced
talk to
gentleman.
them
You want to talk to them?
Don't think
and
lizard
find out where
folks
they
are
got the
good.
gems from.
Don't think they
Sure.
make good conversation.
Yeah, I kind of assumed that as well.
If you rob a lot of money, and four guys come up and try and talk to you, are you really gonna stand there and try and talk to them?
Probably cannot.
Well,
We probably do not have anyone that can speak lizard folk language anyways, right?
I can understand it, but speak, no. I would need a different type of spell for that. But we can hear anything they say.
I have enough trouble. I had enough trouble with bandits already. I do not have to join their side. Even though the gems are enticing.
Then we got magic. Last person probably had magic. Singing can do magic things. I don't trust those. But when we're the only one with magic, then I'm a bit more confident. But I mean, if you don't want any gems, then that's fine.
We'll see. We still have our destination to scout out and to explore. There may be stuff in there.
In a very condescending tone, Choro was like, "Oh, there's more things than just money." While twirling pointing his finger, you need to learn, to live beyond such means. And
As
then
your
drinking his crystal
conversation kind of
bottle of
continues. Sorry, Churro, I didn't mean to jump
worries,
in there.
no
I
worries.
thought I sensed a pause.
I was just role playing this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Money can buy goods and services.
As Churu is giving you the demonstration of wealth and condescendingly talking about there being more things than money, the lizard folk have begun to move out of your immediate line of sight. You think that you could still track them down, but if you don't make a decision quickly, they will be gone.
leaving it up to you. Whoever's
I don't think we
whoever-
should follow them.
I have no desire to rob them.
All right.
All right, the treasure-wielding lizard folk slip away from the party, and you are left to... A small tear
Principles
trickles
are
down
expensive.
Wolfbeard's face.
Mild dwarven tea.
Nice. All right. Whatever treasures they have are gone, and you continue on northwest for the rest of the remaining daylight and begin setting up camp. So we have reached the end of the day for camp. You have not really fought anything. I don't think we need to go over any resting at the moment. Excuse me. I will mark your hexes moved based on your pace. So I will have each of you forage for food. Let's make. I want all of you to make wisdom survival checks at disadvantage for traveling at a regular pace. Most of the day was spent traveling through the pasture lands and the early part of the swamp. Your forage DC is 10.
I'm rolling
That's fun.
the cooking check, but it shouldn't matter.
Okay.
Nice.
So that is a success for Wolfbeard and Temmer. You two have found water, filled the water skins of the party, and you have also found replaceable, something to eat along the way. You do not have to dip into your rations. Unfortunately, though, for good old Vinny and Nerl, you are unable to find anything to replace your rations along the way. So I'm going to have each of you mark 2 pounds of rations off for your food for the day.
I've marked them off the
believe-
mule. I will continue to do so if you do not explicitly tell me not to.
Okay. Excellent. And then you guys have already kind of rested. Let me see if you have an encounter in the night.
Wait. I have to set up my alarms first.
While
There's one. Sorry?
While I roll for that, I'll have you tell me about your alarms, and then when
Okay.
you're done, go ahead and tell me how you guys are doing the first night in the camp. Like, what is it like for your party as you set up here your first night in the swamp, or at least I guess for Temer it's his second, but for the rest of you, tell me what that camp looks like after the alarms are set up.
Do we actually have any tent?
I only have a blanket. I will roll myself
I
into
believe
it.
I have a
but don't
bedroll.
tent.
Yeah, that
so-
would have been nice to get a tent, actually.
Yeah, so Wolfbeard, he is a little worried about sleeping with no roof.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, the classic bear of maybe falling up into the sky.
Fear of falling
But
into the sky.
it's gotta be tough, gotta be cool. So he sleeps very close to the fire, though. He doesn't like staying away from that.
Okay.
He
Very
doesn't like the
good.
mosquitoes and the
How
things flying
does
around.
how does the campsite look? Like, are there many trees around, or is it flat open area? Or...
You're in a marsh. You probably have sought out some dry, hard ground, but there's, marshy wetlands kind of all around you. Reeds and ferns and these kind of small swamp-like shrubs are all around you. There are a good amount of trees here. This isn't like a full forest of trees, but the low-hanging swamp trees are dotting the landscape. You probably could camp near a good copse of a few of them. And yeah, there's some stones and high points, and there's some mud and some low points where there's standing water in the swamps.
Okay. Regarding alarms, I will set one up in every cardinal direction, like 30 feet from the fire, and two above us, like 6 meters above. The above us are audible, like this sort of a handbell sound. If they're triggered, everything else a mind ping. And for the rest of the night before we go to sleep, I'll probably just take out my cooking utensils and try to make something tasty from what we found.
Okay. So, Neril cooks, and Wolfbeard tries not to fall into the sky, and the rest of you settle in for a night in the swamp. And it passes by peacefully. Your alarms are not called, and you can wake up the next day. Resting doesn't need to be dealt with. You guys are at full capacity still. And you are now in the Lizard Marsh proper for your second day of travel. So, Navigator, if you will call for me a intended route for the day's travel and a pace.
So how are we feeling about west?
West sounds good. Probably a slow pace through the swamp. Don't need to risk anything.
Alright. Everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
So-
Slow pace,
Slow pace
West.
heading westward through the Lizard Marsh, attempting to go to the Sunken Fort. Sounds good. So, Wolfbeard as navigator, if you will please give me a navigation check. We'll do Wisdom Survival. You will get advantage on this for traveling at a slow pace. You have now reached the swamp proper, so your navigation check will be a DC 20 in the Lizard Marsh.
no, this
Yes.
is not happening. Go.
All right. So, Wolfbeard, you're kind of taking on this navigation, this kind of lead of the expedition for the first time. I know you weren't super comfortable with it. What's it like for the first bit of this day here as you're trying to get your bearings in this awful swamp and you're not sure you're going exactly the way you intend to? What's that like for your character?
Unpleasant. It's like he's walking, he's trying to okay, wait. So there's a tree in this direction, there's a tree there. So if I wait, and then there's some mist, and he tries to okay, wait, maybe we should go around the mist instead of through it. But then he ends up seeing another tree that looks exactly like the first tree, and it's just and he doesn't really know what he's doing. Plus, there's always having to deal with probably water that's slightly higher than comfortable.
Oh, yes, for a dwarf, I imagine so. There are high points and low points in the swamp, and there are like places where the water stands tall and the mud is thick, and there are places where the rocks and kind of high ground are easier to find. But I do imagine that as a poor navigator, you find yourself more often than not in taller waters than you would like.
Terrible time. Dreadful.
It's a bit worse for the halfling, but I'm not navigating, so.
All right.
Well,
during your attempts here to write yourself through your path, you find yourself in one of those situations where there is a bunch of kind of standing water, and you're dragging yourself through it, trying to get to the other side, cold and wet. Thankful that you've spent the money to line your packs to make sure that no water gets in. I would like each of you as your... Yep.
I would like to murmur about crocodiles existing, like crocodiles, and just so in case we might be less surprised if everyone are aware that we are murmuring about crocodiles.
You are murmuring about crocodiles and making everyone think about what those might be as you look around. Please give yourself a perception roll, each of you, as you are on the lookout for crocodiles.
Right.
Let's see here. 11, 8, 4, 19. Churu, you are aware of the crocodiles, even though the rest of the party knows they exist. They're not sure how to spot them, but you can. And you quickly come to realize that once again you have found yourself in high water with these floating logs around the party. And you quickly spot that there are 7 crocodiles, all kind of in and around the party.
Nice.
You seem to have all stumbled into kind of like a nest of crocodiles. One of them even has its mouth slightly open, and you can see the like water dripping from its teeth from the particular angle you have. How do you proceed?
I cast message telling everybody to stop and point, and I point out, look at me and point, and I point out the crocodiles around, like crocodile, 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 7 times with the 7 crocodiles, and I point to the one, the real mouthy one, kind of like crocodile, you know, to make sure that they know there's crocs. And I'm like,
I quickly unholster my
back
hand
out,
crossbow
back
and get it
out.
ready.
back out,
Just
guys.
get my
Let's
shield,
let's just like extricate ourselves from here. Go.
Yes.
Back out slowly.
Alright.
No quick moves. Crocodile.
All right,
They don't like quick
you
moves.
begin trying to back up slowly.
They don't like quick moves.
And try to not gain the ire of the crocodiles. It sounds to me like you are trying to kind of stealth away from a bad situation.
Very bad.
Yes. It seems to me like you're trying to move quietly and carefully so as not to disturb them. So this sounds like a dexterity-based stealth check. Does that sound good to you guys? I would like for you all to make a group check. So each
Can I
of
do
you
it?
roll
I have
stealth.
5. Does anyone have higher than 5
I have
stealth?
9, and I rolled a
Great.
12.
Is it?
A group check will have each of you roll, and we will average the results.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my stealth.
How do you have
12, a 15, a 7, and 11. You are right on the edge of crocodile awareness. Let's see if the crocodiles find you or not. What is the passive perception of crocodiles? You think I would have
But
had...
they're not actively hunting us.
It is not actively hunting you yet. It is passively perceiving things in the swamp. That is... Oh, wow, you are right on the edge. You are 12 and 15 is 27, and 7 is 34, and 11 is 44, and
11.
divided by 4 is
No higher than
11.
11, yeah.
You guys sneak out of the crocodile den. The ripples happen. You pause and wait and are concerned for your lives for a moment, but the crocs themselves, due to Churu's quick thinking and guidance, are not able to recognize you and jump on you for food.
It probably helps that I could just go completely underwater and then just fall over 10 seconds.
All right. You make it out of the kind of wetlands, take some time to go around them, and continue on your journey.
When we're safely away from it, I cast our ritual cast Speak with Animals and say, "Stupid crocodiles, ha, suckers!" All right. And then I,
Book it.
I dance my way out.
The crocodiles are hurt by your words, and there are crocodile tears added to the swamp. But you are safe enough away that they cannot get you. Excellent. And so your day continues. How's the mood of the crew after this? You've stumbled into some crocodiles and you've escaped them. It seems that you've done a pretty good job of getting away from all of the kind of nasties of the lizard marsh so far. What's it like in the kind of afternoon here as you're traveling through?
I'm just glad that the bag is waterproof and that my research book is still alright.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm just
Excellent.
glad
I'm still pretty
eaten by
happy.
crocodiles.
Very relieved. We're getting to our destination. So far, so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
We're not engaging with any of your random encounters, Greg. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sad we didn't see the singing lady or the elf lady. I'm happy we didn't rob the lizard people. I didn't. Indifferent, I suppose. Maybe not happy. Indifferent to that. And I'm very glad we didn't get eaten by crocodiles, and our mule is safe. And it's pretty much all good so far. Well,
All right.
somewhat good, mostly.
Well, the mood seems to be mostly good, and you're happy with what's going on as you're entering kind of the mid-afternoon, having spent a kind of laborious day through the swamp. You spy a strange sight coming out of the swamp, some few hundred feet off of your path to the south, and what you see is a tower kind of pushing itself out of the swamp. It looks to be an old tower that is kind of crumbled and falling to pieces in some ways, and it definitely has the look of something that is barely standing, although it does catch your eyes. It's definitely man-made and stone, and there just hasn't been anything like that up to this point in the swamp.
Is this a narrow tower or is this a wide tower that could be? Does it seem like something that could fit the description of the fall, or is this probably something unrelated?
Hard to tell from what you see. It's just for now, it looks like a just kind of crumbling spire, just haphazardly sticking out on the horizon. It looks pretty lonely. It looks more like a watchtower from this distance than it does a fort, but you also aren't up next to it.
So
Like
this is the
that
first
looks
really
like-
interesting thing we've seen, not heard
Yeah.
so far.
Yes. We've seen
Gonna kill us.
Do we take a peek inside it? I can go in first sneakily and see if there's anything inside.
Great. If
Good idea.
you're caught or something danger, yell, "Oh my God," and then put dangerous thing in place of afterwards. Okay?
All right. Duly noted.
All right.
Okay,
It sounds
so-
like, Vinny, you are going to kind of head out ahead of the party to scout out the tower itself.
let's go at least as a party to like
Yeah.
200, 100 feet range. So
Okay.
if he's in trouble, that he isn't
Yeah.
alone for 5 rounds.
I
and
imagine
just
they're not
dies.
leaving me a mile behind. So
Like to 100 feet or something like that.
yeah.
Okay.
Like not that far behind me. So
All right. You, as a party, begin making your way towards the tower. As you do so, you'll see that most of the swamp kind of fades away going in front of it. The tower itself actually lies in some kind of clearing in the swamp for the most part. And it is crumbled and kind of just haphazardly there. As you approach, you come to quickly realize that whatever this was built for was not a fort. This is kind of a standalone tower jutting out of the marsh around you. You look around the swamp and you don't, and the clearing here, you don't see any creatures or whatever. And as you approach to 100 feet, you all hear the like unmistakable sound of bowstring, but a big one going thump. And let's see, who does this? Number 1. So. Were you in front of the party, Mad Hatter, or as you, or I guess Vinny, as you came here? Who was leading the party?
I would imagine until it's my go to go inside, we're going at the same how we would be. Mm-hmm. So I don't know who would be probably the navigator.
Okay.
I say.
Sounds.
I don't mean to throw you under the bus, but unless I'm at the point where they say, okay, we're good now, you can go.
All right, Wolfbeard. It sounds like you're in the front of the party. That kind of makes sense to me, being the navigator. Okay. You hear this unmistakable thump of like a big bowstring, and a bolt comes arcing out of the tower towards you, and it will roll to hit. It rolls a 10. I don't think this strikes you. The bolt comes flying out, and you hear it and quickly like react, and either with your weapon or your shield just kind of block away this bolt. And you hear kind of like surprise sounds from the tavern or from the tower quickly, and then they stop and go silent.
Did we get a look? Like, we probably don't see the person or whatever shot this, right?
No, it seems the bolt came out of kind of a window fairly close to the ground floor. Actually, it didn't come from up high. There's a kind of like there's a set of windows in the tower, and very close to the base of it, from one of them came this bolt.
So we're clearly spotted at this point. So I cast Mage Armor first of all, and then we'll see.
Was the surprise sound? Am I able to determine if it's a surprise sound, as in, oh shit, I didn't mean to fire that, or oh shit, I missed?
I think that's left to your interpretation, Vinny.
All right.
I'd like to shout at them.
Uh-huh. What do you
Get
shout,
ready to
Wolfbeard?
Get ready to dodge anything that's coming at me again if they decide to fire.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd like to shout at them. Hey, what are you shooting at me for?
You shout, and you hear those like kind of surprise sounds from the tower. They're like squawking in some kind of small voice, and then it is just silence. Your shout is unresponded to.
They're not saying anything. They're not responding to it. Very rude.
I think these gentlemen are gonna accost us if we go inside there, judging by their warning shot. I don't know if it was a warning shot.
It definitely was a warning, and it probably was aiming to kill. Like, killing is also a warning. It's a harsh warning, but it does work.
So unless we mean to get into a brawl right now, I suggest we leave these gentlemen be where they are. They clearly don't want us around.
If they just had shot a warning shot, that would be one thing. But they'd clearly try to kill our friend here. And this is a watchtower near the fort, I assume near the fort. And maybe we'll find some information about the fort there. So I do not want to just forgo this.
All right. Seems
try
like
if
those
they're
fighting
like-
words.
We can shout
But
at them
if we-
too, but
Sorry?
go ahead.
I did not interrupt.
Oh, We can shout at them and ask if they'll let us inside just to have a look from the tower. They probably won't, but maybe. It's worth shouting
You're a
at them.
man of words. Would you like to try and convince these antisocial gentlemen that's just shot at us to let us in?
I would love to.
Okay.
Friends, tower friends. We come in peace. We're just here to see your tourist stuff. You know, we're spending money at your local establishments. You know? Surely this would, this is not how you treat people bringing revenue into your realm. I see you have a nice little place here. By all means, perhaps you'd like to talk on more friendly terms without us being skewered with an arrow or such.
Your plea rings out across the about 100 feet or so to the ruined remains of this watchtower, and an eerie kind of silence echoes back at you.
So, I will take that as a maybe. You're thinking this through.
As long as it's going on, I would like to watch out, not at the tower, but the surrounding areas, like the swampland, the brushes that may be at the edges.
Okay.
So nothing sneaks up on us, behind us, or the side.
I'll help
Sure
you out
thing.
with that as well.
Yeah, you guys
That would be
keep
appreciated. I have 0 perception bonus.
you guys keep a close eye on the rest of the marsh and the clearing that you're in, trying not to be ambushed. Other than keeping an eye out on the marsh, what do you do? You've attempted to negotiate, but it sounds like whatever negotiating you've tried has fallen on deaf ears. What does the party do?
Believe this.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, okay, we have a few choices. We can force the issue, or we could walk away, or we can do it something very sneakily. I distract, while you get to a more less occupied part of the tower. I can render
Whatever.
illusion. Yep, continue.
Whatever is a shot at us will still be watching us. There's no way they just said, well, we just shot one time. Clearly didn't work, so, well, no need to watch out anymore. So no one can sneak away. If we go somewhere, they'll notice. So either we go away, or we approach.
It's like
Well-
plain grasslands, right? There's no like a tree line anywhere.
You've traveled through a marsh. There's trees and ferns, and in this area, yeah, it's kind of like an open clearing. So it's
makes
not a
sense.
grassland per se. Like it's still kind of marshy, but there's the trees. This area in particular is free of trees and particularly large ferns and shrubs.
I mean, I wasn't given this company shoot crossbow for nothing. So if we're up to scuffle, I'm happy to help out.
Is there a visible entrance to the tower anywhere?
There is indeed. Yes, at the ground level of the tower, there is what appears to be what once was an old wooden door. Now it's mostly just an open archway with some rotting planks and the remains of what was once the door, kind of in them.
I would say let's approach and see who is inside.
To fire another warning shot.
No. You continue walking, and the tower remains rather silent. You get all the way up to the doorway of the watchtower, and as you peer inside, you see that there is kind of an empty base floor. The swamp has come in to kind of reclaim most of it. What was once a kind of like structure of wood and stone now has small ferns and some kind of small swampy life inside. You see the skittering of a very tiny rodent kind of away from you as you approach the door. There's a wooden kind of like scaffolding setup. It seems to be a rather recent construction compared to the rest of the tower, though like made of repurposed bits of wood from the tower proper. As you'll notice, the stairs leading up to what would be the second and third floors have kind of fallen into disrepair, and there's no longer a way back up there. And they, on top of this kind of new scaffolding that's been created, is a makeshift ballista and a dozen extra bolts, just kind of laying around up there, pointed through this like window higher up in the tavern. You investigate the rest of the second floor landing, but there is no sign of the attackers that fired the crossbow bolts or the ballista bolts.
There'll probably like a string on a ballista, and I would like. Can we like get to it, or is it just where we
Yes,
cannot
yeah,
reach?
you can easily climb up to this kind of makeshift landing area. Take a look around.
How does the scaffolding look? Does it look like it's made by someone who knows what they're doing, or does it look really like crude and terrible?
It looks very crude. It looks like it looks like people that have a vague understanding that they want wood to hold together, but might not exactly know the best way to make it happen.
How does the ballista look? Similar?
Yes, very similar. Very handcrafted by somebody that vaguely knows what a ballista is, but hasn't crafted one professionally ever.
If no one has any concerns against it, I would like to cut the strings in several places and just trash this ballista, basically. In several places, so I have the mending spell, and I do not want that anyone else having this could easily repair this. So I would like to break this apart, cut this in many different ways, so this is not easily repairable.
All right.
Sure, let's trash it.
Yeah, you trash the ballista. You cut the strings and bash the wood and break it apart, and there is no longer a functioning ballista standing on that scaffolding.
You said we didn't see anybody else?
You didn't see signs of your attackers. Go ahead and give me... It sounds like you're scouring this tower. Give me an investigation check.
Investigation.
Intelligence, I believe.
All right. I got some. Never mind.
Now you look around and it's just an empty tower, man. You don't see anything out of the ordinary.
Our assailant is gone. I don't know
Yeah.
where he is.
Yeah.
Is this for the group, or can we do it separately?
You can do it
always
separately
a bit-
if you would like. If the group spends time investigating, this is something they want to do. You spend 15-20 minutes investigating thoroughly, and eventually one of you will come across a hidden trap door at the floor of this tower. Let's see. Do I have it described in any way? Will reveal a secret trap door on the ground floor. No, that you see a trap door. Probably has one of those like old school iron hinges that you can like move the carpet away and pull up.
Does it look different, similar in construction to the other stuff that's recently put up?
No, it
more
looks
sturdy?
more like a contiguous piece of the architecture that was of the original tower.
If we go down there, this may be trapped. Does anyone have experience with handling those?
I got a little bit of fast hands. If that works, I could probably slip out if anything triggers.
I usually send my servant to do such things. You'll like him, in fact. I can call him for you.
All right, well, let's meet him.
Yeah. So I do my little dance and pony show to bring my servant around. I'm like, yo, servant, can you go down there?
All right, your invisible servant comes into existence and inaudibly agrees. The
And I
servant
say, don't
lifts.
make that face. Don't make that face at me while you do it.
The unseen servant changes its face as per your direction and lifts the iron ring off the floor and pulls mightily. The trapdoor opens, and just underneath you see a staircase going down. And crouched with their hands on their heads, now looking up. As the door opens, are two kobolds standing on the front steps of the stairs. They both go, and are very surprised that you have found them in their crafty hiding spot. What do? You have all earned yourselves a surprise round against these kobolds to act while they gather their wits.
I cast sleep.
Okay, you cast sleep. I think that the minimum hit die. Oh no, it's hit points, not hit dice. Go ahead and roll me some hit points. I think you can roll lower than they have.
This is the thing here.
5d8.
Yeah, 5d8. I guess it's possible that you could roll 5 HP.
It is possible. but
23. No, these two kobolds fall asleep as you expend your spell. And they just fall over on these stone steps leading down into a dark basement.
So let's tie these guys up. And I get out.
Okay.
Has the rope.
All right, I got the rope, and
Awesome.
I will expertly, with my fast hands, tie it tightly against these two. Should we tie them together or individual? What works best?
Oh,
Do it individually in case you want to
Yeah.
separate them.
All right, I'll minus however much rope I need. I assume it was like 5 or 10 feet.
You can, if
yeah,
you cut.
You can cut the
Sorry.
rope. I think that 10 feet will suffice. Like 5 feet of rope per like small-sized creature is fine.
If you
Alright.
can cut cleanly, if Greg allows it, I could cast a mending cantrip afterwards to melt them together again.
That sounds good. Yeah, you can cleanly cut the rope and mend them later. That's well within the
Alright.
concept of the spell.
These guys didn't have any weapons on them, did they?
They do indeed. The kobolds that you have tied up sleeping are armed with. They're this version of kobold. They are armed with daggers, small and twisted, and made very clearly not of metal. They are obsidian, the black glassy stone, sharpened to a point. And they also have with them what appears to be a crude sling, and a pouch full of polished stones to put into it.
All right.
Could
I
the
slowly unholster it.
obsidian. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Could obsidian be worth anything, or is that like trash?
The obsidian could be worth something to like a collector or a trader, but it's likely to be of similar value as as just a weapon, right? If you were to sell
Yeah.
it back. But if you were to find an interested trader back in the mainland, like I'm sure it was exotic enough that a skilled trader could probably get something for it.
Might as well take them. I can carry a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. How much does a dagger weigh? Does anyone know?
The
1
dagger
pound.
weighs, I think, 1 pound if I remember. I'll look it up.
Otherwise,
daggers. They're,
it's wrong on my sheet. Should be
They're
wrong.
2 pounds, I think. I have them marked down on my sheet.
According to the equipment that I see, they cost 2 gold and weigh 1 pound.
I'm looking at it invertedly. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool.
Alright, I got the 2 daggers.
All right.
Cool.
So the party
Yeah,
has
yeah.
these things, not goblins, they're kobolds, tied up. You see stone steps. They kind of are, they're wide. They're about 10 feet wide, good enough for 2 people to go down abreast. And they circle down into, like, pitch black beneath you. What do you do?
You said pitch black?
Yes, it is dark. So far, there is no light that you see down
So, just to visualize this, the kobolds were just under the trapdoor.
there. They were just
And
standing on the
steps
steps.
go on behind them. So
Keep going down. Yep.
I would say we pull them up and close the door again, and then we'll see if we can get something out of those.
Okay. In the meantime, we could send my servant down there just to kind of poke around, set off any traps,
Alright.
because
Yes,
they're
but
they're easy. you know?
something may
hiding at the
poke
top.
back.
Yeah,
Oh,
if
it's
they were hiding at
okay.
the
My
top-
servant doesn't mind. You don't mind, right? And I kind of nudge
The unseen
he's a good
servant inaudibly sighs and begins making its way down the steps at your command. Your
do you
unseen
need,
servant.
Then
Yes.
I say, do you need a light? Do you need light down there? And then I shut it down.
The unseen servant does not need light, but I don't know how it can interact with whatever is down there without your direction. Right? It takes commands right from you. So you've commanded it to travel down, and it travels down into the darkness below. But whatever it finds, it isn't able to speak and report back, and
it's okay.
it isn't able to interact with it. But it's down there. It's chilling, or at least it gets 60 feet from you before stopping and
Yes.
knowing it doesn't want to expend the spell.
The kobolds will probably wake up soon. So at in a minute or so, but I would regardless take the 10 minutes to ritual cast, or the 11 minutes it takes to ritual cast comprehend languages to
Okay.
at least know what they're saying, even if we cannot talk back.
Okay. You begin your ritual casting of comprehend languages. Sure enough, they will wake up in about a minute, and they do the classic thing of trying to struggle with their bonds before eventually giving up and looking around.
I wave. Hello. We're here to, buy things at your tower. You like things, right? You have some things to sell to us.
They chibber back at you in a kobold language. You're hard to tell if they know what you're saying or not.
No comment, eh? It's a shame. We have all this gold. I show him my pouch. A lot of gold.
You see their
Nowhere
eyes
to
kind of
spend it.
open for a second and they sniff. Then they don't care
Nowhere to
anymore. They go
nowhere
back
to
to watching
spend it.
you.
It seems that they're not capitalists.
Seems like they don't understand me. They understand gold, but we all do, don't we?
Yeah.
I flip it and I touch it.
So what do we want to get out of these two fellas, and how if we do mimic it through hands?
I have no idea. Maybe we could say 1, 1, 5, 5, 5, 10 down there, like something. Maybe they
Just
get it.
point
I'm not too
down
sure.
and see what's up there. See what's down there.
We can just ask them if they know what's down there, yeah. We can also try making them... try to get them to establish whether this is what we're actually looking for, or if this is just some random tower. Because I'd like to have that certain. It's kind of weird if we check out this place and then it's not what we've actually been looking for. They probably know of any other large structures in the area now.
Interesting. This could be the Sunken Fort. And
Just tell me when the ritual cast finishes. I'm just doing my stuff while we
Sure,
discuss
yeah.
the things.
we could just go down. I mean, we probably will have to go down just to see what's under there after talking to these guys. But I don't think they'll be helpful. It's not their. I mean, look at them. They don't look very.
Yeah, that's probably stupid.
Pathetic.
Yeah.
All right.
Even if they knew what was down there, they probably would have gone down there instead of cower in the hole.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
All right. After some time, your ritual casting finishes, and your party has finished discussing their, desire to learn more or what they want to know about from the kobolds, and you're ready to begin your inquisition of them.
Okay. I will probably. I think we brought the mule inside. I will take some food off the mule because I saw the kobolds are clearly not interested in gold, but they may be interested in food. And I will. I'm not sure if they're gagged or not. If they're gagged, I'll probably ungag them at some point.
I only tied him up. I didn't gag him.
Take some of the food, cast prestidigitation on them to flavor it a bit, and then I will just like hold. The hands are not free. I will hold it to their mouth basically.
You hold it up to their mouth. They're going to immediately lunge at and bite at the food at the same time. Like the two of them are tied up, and they just both like.
I will do it like for each of the ones separately. Right?
Right. You hold two bits of food out there. They are indiscriminate about eating the food or your hand. They're equally as like you get like nipped pretty good by them. But
Wow.
they are happy to
We're
eat the
stop doing
food.
business.
They're like chihuahuas.
After they've like finished eating this, I will like point to them, point to the trapdoor, and like tilt my head a bit, and like
They look at
What's-
each other, and then
what's down there?
one of them speaks to you in Kobold, which you understand is, "Feed me more."
and I'd probably take a bit more food, point to the food, point it to the trapdoor, and like hold it like out to them. Like I cannot speak to them, like I can only understand them, so I like hold out like halfway to them and point to the trapdoor and like sort of tilt my
Bet
head a bit
this
to the
little
side.
one tastes like lamb. Me too. I hope we get to eat him. He wants to go down there. How do we get him down there? I don't know. He should bring that closer. Definitely. Did you get a taste of him? Yeah. It was salty. It was good. I wonder if the other one's taste is good. Hey, untie me. I'm hungry.
Like, I turn my head. They don't seem to be particularly nice, after all. Not sure we can
No.
negotiate with them. They tried to get me to go down there. So maybe
part of
we should tie their arms behind them, untie their feet, and just go down there with them going first.
That sounds like a great idea. They
Yeah.
could be our buffer. They'll be in front of us, and we hear if they are alarmed or if they're happy at us doing this.
Okay. You pick up the kobolds and begin taking them down as your meat shields in front of you while they're tied up.
Before we do that, do we have a source of light? Anyone? I can use a torch. We can use a candle or anything.
I
First things
have
first,
two
who can
torches.
see in darkness?
Nope.
I
cannot.
can.
I can.
So two of us can.
Two of us. Yes.
So I can have my unseen servant hold a torch in front of us.
Okay. Yeah.
Good idea.
There's one torch on the mule.
You open the door back up so your unseen servant can return from the stairs, and you give it a torch. Yeah. The unseen servant takes the torch, and we'll
Alright.
hold it. There's now a floating torch. The kobolds are very concerned by the floating torch. Like, magic fire!
Do we gag him now? Do we gag him
Calm
now?
down. Calm down. And I tell the servant, by the way, just could you stand by the kobolds for just a second and kind of walk away, then go right back at them, just a little bit.
You play a trick on the kobolds with your servant, and they are not happy about it. The fire gets closer, and the fire gets farther away. Then it gets closer again.
Okay. That's good. Now head down in front of the kobolds. Just keep yourself in front of the kobolds so they see. The kobolds actually see what's coming up front, and so you know how it's done. Just
All
down
right.
there. Go.
I will listen carefully. If the kobold, like when we push them down there, basically say anything, maybe some details, then I'll try to catch it.
Okay, you begin following the kobolds down the steps, kind of pushing and prodding them in front of you while they are bound up. The kobolds remain mostly silent, just staring at the floating torch the entire time. The crumbling steps, you circle down and down until they open up into a larger chamber carved out of the earth. This definitely does not seem like a natural cave as you open up your way into here. It seems like it's been scooped out, but by kind of ancient technique, not a modern kind of carved chamber.
Sorry.
Yeah, go for it. What's up?
So as a dwarf, I have something where I can recognize the origin of stonework. Can I use that to maybe recognize what's up with this whole carving and such?
Let me take a look at stone cunning. I don't remember stone cunning's exact wording. Stone cunning. Whenever you make an intelligence history check related to the origin of stonework, you're considered proficient in history skill and add double your proficiency bonus to the check, and so you're normal. Okay, I think that's great. So let's make an intelligence history check, and you get double your proficiency, and we'll see if you know anything extra about the stoneworking.
Yes, let me just... how do I add it so it adds as double proficiency?
In the Roll20 sheets, I'm not sure if there's a better way to do it other than like editing it.
We can just do the roll and then add.
We could do the roll and add your bonus or your proficiency to it again. That's quicker probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just add a 4 to this roll.
Okay.
Because that's my thing doubled. At advantage, yes.
You check you are considered proficient. You add double your proficiency. I don't think it says at advantage.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let me show. Nope.
No. You're uncertain actually of this. You're quite sure that it is no dwarven architecture. Is clearly not the work of your people. But it's old enough and strange enough that you don't have much of an understanding of it.
Dreadful.
Awesome. So the crumbling steps open up into this larger chamber. They're reinforced by ancient and rotting wooden supports, both the steps themselves and the corners of the chamber. You've seen them kind of fallen away and the earth tumble back into place in places throughout the chamber. As you get down there, you see you see this scene. The crumbling tower. Boom. Okay, players, in the top left corner of this map, you see this room. There is a large turtle from the swamp. You've seen big, giant turtles like this plenty of times before. And they have populated the swamp. This turtle has been killed, and you see bite and claw marks. It has clearly been eaten on as you get there. There is a large minx. It is like wolf-sized. It is bigger than your average mink that you have seen throughout the marsh. It is perched on top of the partially eaten corpse. And as you approach, it hisses menacingly towards you, and 2 other minks kind of slink out of the shadows. The kobolds in front of you shout something in kobold at the minks. And you, having comprehend languages, Neryl, notice that they have named these creatures. They call them Bubbles, Blossom, and Buttercup. And they call to them and mention only, "Attack!" And the minks begin charging up at you, and we will...
Quick, you seem to be kobold pets. Defend yourself.
We will roll into some initiative. I do know Wolfbeard. You wanted a generic token. I don't actually have one for you to control yet. Do you want... I don't know if I have a dwarf or not. I have this fighter. I have this...
I'll take whatever.
You'll take whatever. Does this fighter work for you?
Actually, yeah,
No?
sure.
Oh, okay.
Either one works, it's fine.
All right. Then this will be your token that I need to resize as the GM, not the player. There we go. Excellent. Go ahead and rearrange yourself in whatever order you were marching down the stairs, and let us roll into initiative.
I'm probably near the front, yeah?
Sure. Yeah.
I'd probably
Yeah.
go with second or third.
You also have 2 tied up kobolds that you can
should be-
put in front of your party as you desire.
I'm probably hurt. I still want to be close enough to hear them, so I wouldn't be last.
Okay, absolutely.
Not quite
So,
sure.
No,
So is
sorry,
this
go
good
ahead.
enough?
Say your things. Okay, me then.
Is this?
The left side of the staircase is where we got off, right? Not the right side.
I don't actually mind. It can be, we'll call it this side where I'm pinging. That'll be the base of the staircase. And so that means
Alright.
the other side will be the top.
Ping again?
This part right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll probably be here somewhere.
The square that's kind of in the in the staircase. He can still see into the room, right?
No, I'm sorry. Where you're standing, yeah, you can see the room from here. Absolutely.
Initiative, right?
Yes, please.
Can we take a very short break before combat starts?
We can. Why don't we set up the initiative turn? And we're a little bit early for a break, but we'll cut it there. And no, that's fine. No, it's a good spot, and we'll have combat on the other side.
I think this is my very first bad initiative roll.
All
I
right.
had amazing initiative last session.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 initiatives. Looks good. All right. Why don't we go ahead and cut to a break here? We'll let you guys get a drink and get a bathroom break, and we will come back with exploring underneath this crumbled tower in a few minutes. See you then.
Very good. Let's see. I will be right back.
Fine. All right, welcome back, Twitch chat, to Land Beyond the Mist. We are just about to enter into some combat underneath a ruined watchtower. So you have come down these old steps that you found beneath the trapdoor, pushing the kobolds out in front of you. And they have entered into this old carved chamber in the stone. And they've called out to their minxes named Bubbles, Blossom, and Buttercup, and have ordered them to attack. You have used comprehend languages. You know this. Nerold tells the party what's happened, and as the minxes come to charge you. Vinny, you are the first to react to this. What do you do?
All right. I just, from my perspective, just hear shouting, and 3 dogs just coming out to chase us. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ready my action with my hand crossbow for whenever one of them gets in range or in melee range with one of my allies to immediately shoot.
All right, you're in range, so you want to wait until they get within 5 feet of an ally before you shoot? Okay, perfect. So you ready your crossbow, hoping to take one out as they come forward, and sure enough, they do. So we'll just go in order here. This mink will come charging forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get in range of the party, avoiding very carefully the kobolds that shouted at it. It has come within 5 feet of both you and the party. Go ahead and fire your crossbow off.
I believe it's with disadvantage since it's melee range.
You could have taken the shot just before it got into melee range. Its intent was clear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead and take it out regular. 24
24
will hit.
Nice.
Yeah, very nicely done. Roll me
It's gonna
some.
be six piercing damage, and I get sneak attack off this.
You get sneak attack. For your. Well, okay. So you want it for the your allies being within 5 feet.
Yeah,
right?
ally being
Okay.
That's what
Okay, if you want sneak attack damage, I want you to roll at the disadvantage. I thought I was gonna give you the shot like before it got within range, but then it wouldn't have gotten.
Okay. All right, I'll just roll one more time.
Go ahead and roll one more time. Make sure that we confirm that hit.
That's 11.
The 11, unfortunately, it does not. Right, you had it aimed up in its sights, but as it got within like the 5 feet of melee, suddenly your aim was less good, and you fire your bolt strikes, but it strikes the like kind of unimportant fleshy bit of it. Doesn't really sink in and do any extra damage to the weasel. All right, so this one rears up after you fire at it, and it is going to. It has 3 different targets it can hit. 1, 2, 3 in order. 1. Oh, my friend Vinny, you shot at it and it shoots. It's going to rear up on its hind legs and then try to take a big bite out of you with its fangs. This is a 19 to hit you.
Yeah, that hits.
Yeah, it sinks its fangs in for 7 piercing damage, taking a big bite out of your
And knocking
your
me
character.
down.
Ooh, okay. So Vinny is down and bleeding out. Churu, oh no, the other minks go. Never mind. Sorry, Churu, we're gonna wait for a hot second. This one comes up. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to take a bite at the fighter in front, Wolfbeard. It does the same, rearing up and taking a bite out of you with another 19. All right, that hits. This time only doing 4 piercing damage. It doesn't get quite as good a snap. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Churu, another one comes up to you and will do the same. If I can find my giant weasel. There we go. And it bites with a 23. Whew, the weasels have hot dice today. Doing 7 piercing damage to you, Churu. And now it is your turn. The weasels have come up and taken big bites out of you and your friends. What do you do?
Very big bites. I can't stand and fight. This is a little too much now. It's coming up a little too hot for Churro. So he backs up as much as he can. If he can take a engagement.
Okay, you'd like to disengage? Sure.
Yes. Yells, guys, let's go. They don't want us here, and disengages up the steps as much as possible.
Okay, you go ahead and disengage up the steps. We'll just move you back up the steps some amount just to have you up there. Awesome. That is Churu's turn. You disengage, so no attacks of opportunity against you. Wolfbeard, you've been bitten, and now your new bard friend has run back up the stairs, yelling, "Let's go!" What do you do?
I can move out of the reach of the kobolds without picking an attack from them, yeah?
Yeah, the kobolds are tied up. You don't have to worry about them. It's right now
Yeah.
the minks are the ones that really are worrisome.
I'm gonna move over here and give a whack to this one.
Okay, yeah. You step
So-
back so that you can get in range of all three. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I do like I turn around and I swing, and let's see how that goes.
All right. You take a nice pivot swing with your Morning Star. Unfortunately, your 11 just doesn't have a lot of force behind it. You strike the creature very weakly and do not deal the damage that you were hoping to.
Then I shout, "Ah!"
All right, excellent. It is shouted. Awe has been called, and Neryl, you see these minks fighting back your allies. Churro has run past you. What do you do?
I'm not quite ready to retreat yet, especially with our fighter there and someone bleeding out. So I wanted to cast Sleep, but the kobolds could try something. So I would just cast Magic Missile on... If I can feel... Like, just the one below Wolfbeard.
Just the one below Wolfbeard. Okay, I'm this one right here.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, perfect. You poke your head around the stairs, get a nice line of sight, shoot some magic missiles at him. Go ahead and roll me some damage.
10.
Ooh, 10 damage. This one is the runt of the bunch and dies. Your magic missiles strike it, tearing at its flesh. And it falls dead in front of Wolfbeard's feet.
Come back down here, Churro, and heal someone. One is dead.
Alrighty. Vinny, you are bleeding out. Please give me a death saving
Oh,
throw.
one moment. Is that just D20?
Yes.
17.
17.
One
That is
success.
one success. Excellent. Now it is time for the minks to go. The kobolds are still shouting at them to fight. They're trained to keep going, so they will. They don't seem that worried about changing what they do. I'm gonna just swap your places here so that we can still see your token. But this mink will step forward, trying to get up the stairs at Neryl, and this one will just step in here to continue fighting Wolfbeard. The first one will take a bite at you, Neryl, rearing up, trying to bite up the stairs, and rolls another 19. Oh my goodness.
Roll me damage.
5 piercing damage for you.
Oh, I'm still up at least.
Okay, good.
Okay.
And then the second one will take a bite at Wolfbeard with a 9. No, this one is unable to sink its fangs into your armored dwarfy appearance. Excellent. That is their turn. Churu, you've run up the stairs, and now you're getting yelled at to come back and fight. What do you do?
He sheepishly comes down, but not terribly too close. Looks at the one between him. Oh, I'm occupying a space.
This is technically, these stairs should be wider. Let me see if I can.
Okay.
Also, I can technically move through squares of larger creatures, so maybe that works in reverse.
I don't know why the idea that the party would want to fight on the stairs didn't occur to me. But the stairs should be 10 feet wide, so you can stand next to Narrow. Yeah.
So the one right here, right beside me, where I kind of hit
Uh-huh.
the front, sheepishly find it, and it's coming kind of up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
I do a Eldridge Blast.
Oh, okay. You unleash your nightless starry sky at it. Go ahead and roll to hit. I think you're in melee range with this, right? And that is a ranged spell attack, so it'll be at disadvantage.
I mean, if
Is it
well,
possible I could step back until I?
You could have just come up short of him and like been like back a ways. We'll call it like
if
that.
they're
until
10
I-
feet wide.
Sure.
I
Okay.
see
Yeah.
it.
Go ahead and roll normally, and you'll just kind of be back a little ways from it. A 12, unfortunately, does not hit the mink. It is a hardy creature, and so even though you blast it with your starry or your starless sky magic, it is unaffected. It kind of shrugs it off.
For a bonus action, I remember. Oh wait, I can heal people with healing word. Surprise! Mind blown. I say, fighter, please get up. We really need you to fight, and please. And I cast healing word.
All right.
Here you go.
The rogue, you mean?
The pleas
Yeah.
of Churu reach you.
The one who is down. I forget which one is down. Is it the?
That's
it's
me.
The reporter,
Reporter.
Vinny.
Yep.
Wow, that came out of nowhere. Sorry. Go ahead and roll your HP there. My sneeze appears to have come and gone. Awesome. Vinny, the pleas of your companion reach your ears somewhere beyond the veil, and you come back to consciousness with 4 HP beating through your chest. Excellent. Well done. Wolfbeard, you see your companion come awake beside you. You have the fighting raging on. What do you do?
Yeah, I'll comment. Let's take this one first, eh? And attack this one, top one. Again.
The one on the stairs?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
And I whack at it.
With a
Hit it
23,
properly.
connecting for 7 piercing
7.
damage. Excellent. Your Morningstar clubs into the creature, like piercing its flesh. It comes away bloodied. The creature kind of gets slammed into the wall. It's still alive, but it is definitely bloodied. It looks much worse for the wear after your strike.
Very good.
Excellent. And that brings us to Nerl. The creature that has been biting you is getting assaulted on all sides. What do you do?
I will stab it with my dagger.
Okay, excellent.
With my action. Stab
Do you have,
wizard makes a return.
flanking?
And I don't think we are flanking, right?
believe
No,
you-
so I don't play with the flanking rules because we end up with a Congo line of death. So just in general, I don't use that variant rule. If you want advantage in combat for something similar to that, like investigate the fiction and tell me what it is that is granting you that advantage, right? Maybe.
I don't think on the stairs this is applicable, but I have a
Oh, we
bonus
got the high
action.
ground thing.
I think that the nice. I think that the stairs could, like, for an example, right? So that you could think about, like, a lot of medieval stairs were built so that defenders on the top of the stairs would have the advantage of both height, uneven steps, and their primary hand forward against attackers that would have no knowledge of the steps, be down, and have their like offhand forward. So like. Against a humanoid, maybe, I think that would make a lot of sense, right? To potentially give you advantage. Against a beast, I'm not entirely convinced of that, but that's the type of thing that I would give advantage for over flanking.
Against a humanoid, I may have made that argument if I wasn't a halfling, and probably would still be on head tired. So I will just do an offhand attack, I think. I have 2
Okay.
daggers, so
Ooh.
this should hit.
So the first one is an 11. It misses. The 15 is your offhand, so you lose your proficiency bonus in it.
I think I lose my bonus on damage.
Correct.
Okay.
In damage, that is correct. You got it. So
So
the
just a
15
1d4.
The 15 will hit. Yes, please roll me the d4 damage. For 2 more. Oh, you so close, but you are unable to slay the beast. Another dagger cut penetrates it. It definitely looks worse for the wearer. That brings us to Vinny. Vinny, you've woken up. There's now a creature kind of like standing over you, has climbed up the stairs, and is attacking your friends. What do you do?
All right. So I get up. Do we need to use my movement to get up?
Yes, from a prone position, it costs half your movement to stand.
All right, 35. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna be moving. Is this the son of a bitch that attacked me?
It sure is.
All right. I'd like to take a stab at it with my rapier.
Okay.
That I have. And that would be 25.
25, it hits. Go ahead and tell me how you kill this thing, because minimum damage will slay it.
All right. As he's climbing up the stairs, going against our wizard, I awaken and I'm right behind him, and I just go, so it was you, and I stab him at the side and puncture his stomach, expecting a good clean kill.
Excellent. And sure enough, it is. Your rapier right through its vital organs. They spill out as you retract, and the creature dies on the stairs in front of you. Excellent.
I don't believe I can do anything else, so that'll be it.
Okay, perfect. That brings us to the final mink. It is less enthused about fighting, but the kobolds are still there shouting at it, and it is well trained. Yep, and it continues its fight. It now has 2 targets to choose from. It will continue. Nope. It changes its mind. It wants you, Vinny. It wants you. It opens up its mouth and lunges at you to take another big chomp with a 14. Does that hit you?
That's a miss.
That's a miss. Oh, it tries to clamp its jaws in, but it can't find purchase amongst your
Not
armor.
this time, sucker.
The deck's coming in.
Yes, and the mink doesn't really have a lot of other actions, and it has to fight. It is well trained and will continue. Perfect. Churu, you see this happen and in front of you. There's only 1 left. What do you do?
I toss one more Eldridge Blast at it.
All right. Go ahead and roll to hit. A 16 does it.
Let's see.
For
9.
9 damage. Oof. Your Starless Knight's magic strikes it, repelling it back a little bit as it rears up. It looks sickly and wounded, definitely on its last bit, but still alive.
I just kind of look at it saying, thought you had me. That's it.
Excellent. Wolfbeard, this wounded creature is in front of you, clearly on its last breath after the vicious attack from your warlock. What do you do?
I
Or
whack
bard.
it in the face.
All right, whack it in the face.
Go. No.
Oh, no. Unfortunately, its face rears back and you just swing into empty air.
Bastard.
Indeed. Neryl, it is up to you. How do you finish this?
I will hurl with a flick of my wrist a firebolt at that creature. And maybe hit it. We'll see.
Okay. Oh, you
yes.
definitely do.
This is double damage, right?
Yes.
Correct. Double the dice.
15.
Yes.
You throw a firebolt, and it erupts in flames, burning the
And-
creature.
As the kobold, if the kobolds are still standing there, I'm immediately running down, trying to dodge like the Ming's corpses, and grab like their buns so they don't run away.
Yeah, they're tied up. You were kind of like pushing them along, and they were like hopping down the stairs. As far as I'm concerned, they're restrained and not moving.
Okay.
Yeah, but the minks all lie dead in front of you, and the like flickering of the invisible servant's torch lights up an otherwise silent cavern in front of you.
Broken stone.
The servant
sorry about that.
inaudibly
Rock and
agrees with you. The torch just kind of lifts a little bit.
I say, sorry about that, Vinny. I forgot that you went down mere one round before my action getting hit. So I left you there. No worries, none of us died, right? Haha. And he nervously laughs.
This is Primo Taylor. I don't care about myself, but look what they did to me. These guys right here, they just baited us over here.
What do you want to do with these? They tried to kill us twice now.
I say we
What
set
are
an
they?
example to one of them.
What are they saying? Is that thing still ongoing on?
One of them is very upset, like bubbles. The other one is kind of like looking around and is concerned. Like there's like concern on its reptilian features, and it is just kind of silent, watching, trying to, almost calculating. It looks like it's trying to figure out what might come next for it.
Well, we can continue going forward. We could take a rest here, or up in the tower where it's a bit warmer, maybe.
Let's take a rest. Sorry.
No, continue. Yeah, I was
Continue.
just saying. I was gonna say we could do that, or we could take care of them now, or our hostages now. We can deal our justice, or we can wait till tomorrow. We don't have to. We can sleep on it. I'm
Let
not
us
too
at
sure what time it
least
is.
take. What time
I'm
is
sorry.
it, actually?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what time it is.
This is sometime in the afternoon as you were traveling.
Okay.
We can take a
I
short
would at
rest,
least
maybe?
like to take a short rest up in the tower. Not down here, but up.
Okay. Do you leave the bound kobolds in this room, or do you take them back up the stairs with you?
We should probably take them
I
back
suggest
now.
we take them up.
Take them up.
Back up the stairs.
You take the kobolds up the stairs with you, and take a short rest. You spend about 10 minutes bandaging up some wounds, maybe eating some rations, getting yourselves revigorated and ready to fight again. So you can expend any number of hit dice up to 1/2 of your total pool.
I have something, Song of Rest, where you guys could double your hit die. The result. I think it's. Let me read this actually.
You gain an extra d6 of hit points for listening to the Song of Rest. Yeah. So excellent.
Hey,
So
it's
much for
something,
that?
It's something.
So as you listen to
One more hit
Churu's dulcet tone, you all gain an extra 1 hit point. You can all spend up to 1/2 your total pool of hit dice rounded up to heal up, and you regain any of the class features associated with a short rest per the rules as written.
So I can use my second win before we rest, and I'll just get it back around, right?
Yeah, you could choose the system that way. Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, it's legit.
Wow.
I shouldn't have said it
amazed.
that way. No, I kind of expect people to do that. It's how people play fighters.
Yeah, well, I rolled
What is going on here?
Oh wow! Oh my goodness!
Getting all of them out of the way. Just getting them out of the way.
Better to roll those for hit point recovery than for attacks and death saves.
We still have
so
more than
quick.
4 down there.
So quick, who has how many hit points?
I got 11
I'm
out of
on-
13.
I'm on full 7.
I have 5 of 7.
I have 11.
Well, you went
Out
hit,
of-
right?
out of 50 out of 15 max. So I was hit for 7 points.
Ah, okay. Okay. Well, we have kobolds
he-
to deal with.
Hearing the lack of your hit points, I'm wondering, or the lack of everybody's just total hit points. I'm wondering if we should maybe be slightly more strategic in how we advance. You know what? That's okay. Actually, I'm not thinking of any solutions. I can't. It is what it is.
Probably we could, if we want to go down there again, probably not have the loud kobolds go in front this time. So in case they call more allies, I'm pretty good at maintaining my my stealth. So so I could probably go in first, take a little peek, then come back and report whatever I find.
What do we want to do with these kobolds? Do we want to keep them alive? My patience has run out at this point.
I am fully for murdering these motherfuckers.
Yeah, you want me to take care of them?
How about we take care of one of them and keep one of them? That way we
Alright.
send a message and we have one left for, I don't know, more messages.
Exactly. Good man. See, I like this guy.
So I take out my morning star and I point it at them and I say, which one do we whack?
Let him play rock paper scissors.
Oh, a dangerous
people are
game of Rochambeau and
Do it!
I
Don't do it, but we won't play games with this.
I don't like the idea of like doing this on like whether we kill it or not. I don't believe it's a dark road right down. It feels very
Okay.
They try to kill us twice now. I have no
Wait.
problem with killing them, but
Who do
I
you
have
feel
problems with.
There's the
The
left
people-
and there's the right. So
Which one looks the most scared?
I think one of them is still very clearly upset about the deaths of Bubbles, Buttercup, and Blossom. But the other one seems more detached and calculating. Probably
I
that one
whack
seems...
the other one.
Okay. All right. So you have a dead kobold. Now you have an even sadder kobold. There's a very sad bound up kobold. Little crocodile tears fall down its eyes. But you've
believe
slain
it.
the other one.
crocodile tears implies that he's really the more calculating one. But it's not a real tear. Like, you know, like it's all a
hey,
ruse.
nobody checked if he's faking his tears. So
Yeah.
All right.
We want to hit them.
So you've taken 10 minutes to rest up. You have made an example of a kobold. You still have one bound up. What is the plan? How are you guys going to proceed here for the rest of your day?
So we taking this guy with us this time or not if we go down there?
Well, if we don't take him with us, what's the point of, I suppose, like having him? Are we just gonna like say, you know, just
So far he's been not of much use, I don't think. So the only thing this guy has provided is being loud for enemies to spot us. So unless we go on another round of questioning, I don't think he's much use to us.
There's not much time left for me to question him, otherwise I would have to do my ritual again. And I don't think he will tell us much more. Not without
Maybe,
me being able to actually ask him something.
I take out.
I think we
Okay.
should try one more time of asking to see if it's cooperative before we make a decision to.
Maybe his
And I-
friend's death broke him. I don't know.
I want to take out my one golden coin that I have,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to like hold it up to him, and I want to like boop on his nose. And I poke
You dump him
point
on
at
the
it,
nose.
and I point at it.
He
And I
kind
like-
of cocks his head and looks at it, and then kind of sniffs, then just kind of looks at you and licks its teeth.
Bah. Puts it back in my pocket. Doesn't get it.
I don't think he's going to be helpful.
Dumb idiot kobold. Except in dwarven voice, not Bane voice.
All right. So, do we execute this one as well, or do we leave it under the trapdoor? If and hide it somewhere. What are we thinking?
We cannot let him leave anyways. If we let him leave, then people or whoever other kobolds will be warned that we are in the area. So he will not leave with anywhere. So we have to kill him at some point. The question is, when do we kill him?
Well, I don't believe we have to kill him. My bloodlust was settled with the first one, but I do believe we have no use for him. We have no use for him. He's not going to help us, not going to do anything. I believe that we should just tie him up for now, and when we walk out the door, when we finish this little quest, we can leave him tied up. But
Then he will either flee and warn people, or he will starve to death.
warn people of what? That we came by, beat his little pets. You know.
I mean,
It's a
we'll
good
be long
warning.
gone. We'll be long
it's a
gone.
good
whenever
warning.
if anybody comes, unless they come now, that is.
Then
We
I
don't know
wouldn't
if
leave
they
him up
have-
here.
We don't know if they have parties out there running about. Maybe some will come back. He could warn them, which isn't fun.
I say.
I mean, either way, how about we decide on our way out? Let's
Yeah.
leave him over here, and then when we go out, we decide shoot him or don't shoot him.
We are not leaving him
have a-
anywhere near our mule.
Yeah, of course, of course. The most reasonable hiding spot would be under that trap door because we had such a hard time finding it. Why not put him there?
Done.
So let's put him under the trapdoor. Let's tie his legs so he can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Completely
Alright.
hog-tied, like completely wormed
Then
up
let's
like a
not-
worm.
Let us not take too long then, because teeth can do quite a job, I guess.
Try tying around his muzzle thing.
Gag
so he can't
him.
open his mouth.
We just gag him.
Sure, you muzzle him and hog tie him, and the kobold is bound and unable to resist. You stick him
him a
underneath
kick.
the trapdoor. Are you heading down below to explore the rest of those caverns, or
Yeah, I
are
imagine
you? Yes, you are. That's what I see. Okay.
Wait, have we not explored the entire top area?
There wasn't much in the top area.
The top area has of the fort as you look, or the not the fort, the tower as you look around it, has like rotting stairs that have largely fallen away that would have led up to the like crumbling tops of the tower.
We
The
haven't actually seen
stone,
what's...
huh?
Sorry, no, but we haven't actually seen what's up there.
Essentially what I'm saying is that without like climbing the side of the tower, the like whatever was once up there has like fallen to ruins. It's mostly just like an empty column going up, and from the ruins of that tower they built this like scaffolding that held a handmade ballista to shoot out of the second story window. There is kind of like, as you look up, there's like a roof, kind of the sun can get in through at least half of it, like sloping at an angle, but there's no like floors on the way up there. It's the interior of this watchtower has fallen to ruin over time.
Okay, excellent. Just downwards then.
Okay. So you open up the trapdoor and make your way back down to the bottom of the stairs. I suppose now these kobolds are not here. One of them you left wedged into the like trapdoor and the topmost stair, and the other has taken a morning star to the face and is gone. The four of you find yourself back into this same chamber with the now lonely corpse of a giant turtle that has been torn into by the three minxes, and now I guess the corpse of the minxes as well. There are two kind of passages that you see leading out. One to the like southeast. Yeah, southeast down here. Is about 10 feet wide, seems to lead further down into the ground and in that direction, and one directly to the east of the stairway, leading further east into the darkness.
Are we not able to see if we get close anything further inside the tunnels?
If you'd like to peer down them, yeah. Which one are you gonna peer
Is
down?
this an appropriate range to see what's down there?
Sure. You kind of get up there and peer down this tunnel. It seems to go about 15 feet or so, and opens up a little bit wide. There's crumbled ruins of old worked stone and wood that have fallen on the ground, and it seems to open up into another chamber on the other side.
We want to take a look in there.
All right.
Nothing else to be done.
Okay, you take a walk down this chamber, revealing
Dwarfs
this...
first?
Huh?
Dwarfs first?
I
Dwarves
assumed
first.
he would be sneaking.
Yeah, I'd be sneaking as well.
Ah, okay. If
Okay.
he's going alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Vinny, you sneak on
Okay.
ahead and get into this chamber, revealing it to be...
I imagine they get like right here, right?
Sure, that's fine. You peer into it. The servant with the torch follows with you, revealing the way as you go. You are sneaking into Chamber 3. Chamber 3, the floor of the cavern that you peer into is littered with well-chewed bones and tufts of fur. As the torchlight flicks in, before you really have time to search the area, a loud hiss comes from behind one of the tunnels to the back of the room, this one in particular here. And you see a pink-eyed weasel sprint out of the cavern's kind of shadows as the light comes, and down that tunnel, disappearing into the opposite corridor.
Discipline. You said it was what? A shadow weasel?
A pink-eyed weasel came out of the shadows and sprinted across the
Pink-eyed weasel.
tavern to the side. Yeah.
Take a few steps back, and I signal over there for everybody to come take a look at this tunnel. And boys, I just saw a giant fucking weasel. He just went in that tunnel.
Similar to the ones we fought.
No, not the ones we fought. This was another thing. There's also bones. Are these like big bones I saw?
There are a number of bones, some of them large, some of them smaller. They seem to be from various different kind of creatures, all kind of piled together. Amongst them are tufts of fur as well. But they seem to be mostly of kind of animal bones, is what your impression is.
Uh-huh. But they've been feeding them some kind of animal food over there. The kobolds, at least. I don't know what purpose. Maybe for training, domesticating war beasts, I believe. And the weasel went down that tunnel over there. You want me to peek a bit further?
Yeah. Maybe we should all
Be
hang out
careful.
in the bone room.
All right. I
I
would
did
like.
not let you get too far ahead.
Okay.
Okay. I would like to. Can I stealth here? Can I roll stealth?
Yeah, sure. You would like to stealthily make your way down the chamber to the east?
Yeah. I wouldn't need the
Alright.
unseen servant with the torch, right? Considering I have dark vision.
Sure. That's fine. Yeah, the torch can stay in that room, and you go down with dark vision. So with dark vision, you see in darkness as if it were dim
26.
light. So you have a disadvantage on like seeing things as you go, but you do have the ability to see as you sneak down this tunnel. I'll go ahead and reveal
one
it
did
in its
the-
entirety here as we go. Reveal areas. Tunnel.
Which one did the weasel go down?
Reveal areas. This one right here. Boink, boink, boink. All right. And then you sneak down this, doing your best to doing your best to avoid any kind of pitfalls and keeping your wits about you as best you can. The tunnel continues on kind of into darkness. It seems that the beast is bounded around through here. Go ahead and give me a perception check at disadvantage as you go.
That's a 17.
A 17. With that 17, you actually find that there are iron caltrops scattered about at uneven intervals throughout the length of the tunnel. And they seem to be even coated in some kind of substance on top of them. As you avoid these and go longer, you find tripwires as well scattered throughout. If you had been a little less cautious, perhaps you might have tripped either of these. The tripwires, as you investigate them, seem to connect to a large clay jar up upon the ceiling, suspended by further wiring as well. But you are able to avoid these traps and continue out to the edge of the tunnel.
As I'm going, can I quickly, the caltrops, can I kind of move them away from my sword with my sword so I can clear pretty.
Sure. Yeah, you kind of scrape the caltrops off to the side of the tunnel to give you a clearer path, gently stepping over the tripwires. And you go to the edge of this tunnel. As you do, the very edge of it, kind of bright sunlight peeks out the other side, and you see that this is an alternate entrance to whatever the kind of cavern system it is, some few hundred feet on the opposite side of the clearing. The big ruined tower now stands up in relief as you look out into the outside.
So does this look more like a burrow or a tunnel, man-made?
It looks carved much the same way the rest of the kind of underground here does. So it looks man-made, carved out of the stone.
Okay, so it's basically an a back entrance getaway.
So, yeah, it seems to be some kind of alternate entrance to the system underneath the tower.
All right. Okay, so I go back to the party. I go, well, boys, I inspected that tunnel over there. There's a bunch of caltrops. Clear them out. There's some tripwires. I'll point them out to you. But this is our getaway. If we get into trouble and we want to get out of here soon, we go over here, up on top.
Nice.
Seems good.
Useful.
Can we
All right.
Drape a napkin or something on top of the tripwire so we can visually see it, or are we good enough to remember exactly where it is?
What if we draw with our chalk that we have?
Hey, perfect.
There we go.
All right.
Finally.
You go back down the tunnel now, this time with the servant and the lit torch. And you make large, noticeable markings with your chalk, designating where the tripwires are, and mark them for your potential escape route.
Oh, one more thing I want to do if you have time. Somewhere in the middle of this tunnel, I guess. I assume we have seen the traps. I don't need to worry that I just stumble into a tripwire. I want to put up an alarm spell as a ritual, as a mind-based alarm. So if something comes back in here, that we know, and I'm not surprised.
Okay. Sounds good. You spend 10 minutes ritual casting your alarm and placing it at the edge of this, or in the middle, you said, of this tunnel.
Yes, in the middle.
Excellent. Okay.
Also now, considering we found this tunnel, I suggest one of us guard the back, considering the weasel might come back. Since he came outside, he might come back in. Who knows?
By the way, I will, of course, designate the party that they don't trigger it in case we have to go through.
Okay. Sounds good.
So this sold entrance right here, and are we able to see down it?
Yeah, you peek your head down here, trying to find what's there. As you go a little bit down this hallway, you see the flickering of a light emanating from the room down here. And as you spent some time
Can I,
yeah.
as I see the light, can I immediately like ready an action to see if anything like hostile appears to immediately fire at it?
Sure, you ready your crossbow, prepared to fire at anything coming up the hall. As you sneak down it, you reveal a large cavernous room that is filled with small light emanating from a large cook fire. And let me spend some time opening up this entire room to you so you can see it.
Could I, as I see at least like 5 of these guys, can I immediately go back?
Yes, you can retreat back, having
Nope.
seen these creatures.
This is not. This ain't it, Chief.
All right.
All right, go back.
Yeah.
And
You
I just
return to the room with the bones where your party is waiting and can report back. You hear the crackle of fire, the chittering of these kobolds. You see them all kind of surrounding hanging pieces of meat over the fire, and they seem to be feasting. There are also excuse me. There are also about well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of mud and stick huts erected around this kind of fire pit, and kind of large barrels of water filled to the brim. And yeah, that's what you can report back to your party.
Good news, fellas. There's life down there. Bad news is there's
That's
20
not
of
good
them.
news. Both of those are bad news.
Got a point, but point still stands. I don't think we can compete with what's inside that other room.
No, not 20 of them.
No, we
No,
can't.
I agree. Then we have to should at least back up, and I will lower my voice. Take these minxes upstairs so people do not notice the 3 dead pets here. And have to deal with the kobold, because we cannot let them warn these guys.
Definitely. Now that we know the entirety of the situation, I suggest we off that one too.
Yeah. Sounds.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we go back up there. We pick up the minx, and on our way out from the trapdoor, we either shoot or bash the kobold that's there, if he's there. Still.
Okay. You leave the crumbled tower, and whatever secrets it may hold behind, and bash the head in of a kobold on the way out.
Sorry, bud.
No.
You can still
worries.
come back when we are stronger. This is not worth it.
Sure.
So, you are back outside. You've bashed a kobold. You have gotten away from whatever was underneath there. What's the plan? You still have... You didn't spend that long adventuring here in the crumbled tower. You still have about a half a day's worth of journey left in you. What do you do?
So does this look like a sunken fort? Because we still aren't sure if this is actually what we've been looking for.
I mean, it is a stone tower jutting out of the swamp. I think it doesn't look particularly forty, but there was a cavern underneath. It might be up to your interpretation of what the person meant when they carved a fort in the table.
Does it look particularly sunken?
No, the tower itself looks like its foundation is intact, right? Underneath the foundation is where you found the kind of system underneath.
When we looked at the cavern walls, were they like industrial, as in what you would see in a tower, a castle, or more or less just cobbled in?
The walls of the
Cave.
system underneath look to be carved directly out of the kind of like earth and stone underneath the marsh. That doesn't appear to be like stone walls were brought into there. It has a different architectural feel to the tower that you see on the outside.
All right.
I say we could continue on. We can go back and investigate the music. No, okay. We can continue on.
Spooky.
we continue on.
Does anyone feel like climbing the tower? Get to the top, maybe get a good look at different landmarks in the area. I'm sure people would appreciate that back in town.
If we do that, I would suggest before we do that, we close the trapdoor and put heavy stuff on it. So
Sure.
in case the cobalt comes looking, we have enough time to get away. I have an alarm on
I could do it.
back entrance.
I could do it if need be, but I suggest one of you wait to catch me if I fall.
Here's the thing. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a deadly fall if he falls off a tower. You know.
Yeah.
Or
You said it was
you
barely
know,
standing, right, Greg?
The foundations of the stairs and the scaffolding, the interior of it is barely standing, whatever's left. It's mostly fallen to disrepair. The walls on the outside, while crumbling and ruined, definitely in places look like they could come loose, but the outside, you could find a nice stretch of it that seems largely still stable and intact. The higher you go, I guess the less stable it is, but the first, 30, 40 feet of the tower seem to be largely fine.
All right. I guess I'll. If one of you volunteers to wait to catch me, I'll go to the where
try.
it looks the most stable. To climb up to where it looks the most stable.
All right.
I
Sounds
would-
good.
I would
prefer
like
to
to-
have something heavy land on me.
So wait,
I would-
wait before I do this. This is gonna be the breaking
would-
point. If I say yes or no to this,
I would
It
say
is
that
gonna be a-
please don't.
is this gonna be a dexterous thing or a strength thing?
Well, we're going to investigate that right now. So how do you go about climbing this? Like, what is... You don't have any tools to bring with you, right? So what expertise are you bringing to climbing the tower? How do you go about
Expertise,
doing it?
depending on how the walls are structured. I'm finding sort of cracks in the walls, little crevices to maybe put my weight under and try and climb up like that.
Okay. So you're trying to find the little footholds and purchase points in the masonry to climb up. I think that could be an arguably dexterity-based skill, right? Trying to find those little handholds to make life easier for you. I think that that sounds like a dexterity athletics check to me. So go ahead and roll dexterity athletics unassisted to climb the tower.
All right. If I added my dexterity to that, because it's a strength base here, it would have been like 20 or over.
Okay. So your strength is... Are you
2.
proficient in athletics?
In athletics, no.
Okay, so your strength is +2. What is your dex modifier?
Dex is 5.
Dex is 5, so it'll be a 20 on your dexterity athletics roll. Excellent. You begin making your way up the crumbling side of this tower, and it is difficult going. It is slippery. There is kind of wet stones from the kind of being around this marsh. Mosses and kind of slime has grown here and there, but you dig your fingers in, you find your footholds, and you begin climbing the tower. And sure enough, despite it being a difficult climb, you make good progress. Soon you're up 50, 60 feet above the marsh. Here at the top, you can see that while whatever crenellation or top of the watchtower is long since crumbled and fallen away, you can even see some stones now protruding out of the marsh around the base of the tower. There is kind of a floor that stands mostly intact, sloping at an angle down, only about halfway across the breadth of the tower. It's made of rotting beams of wood. Noticeably among them, there is a kind of stanchion on which a unique-looking a piece of equipment lies. It looks kind of, you would think of a telescope. It is metallic, hanging in the, like, off the stanchion, and you can see the glint of glass on either end of it. The stanchion is like bolted into the wood, and it is leaning kind of towards that edge of the roof there. At the base of the wall, you see what must be some kind of chest. It is iron and very much not a good fit with the rest of the architecture here. Like the iron chest at the top of this, kind of wedged next to the wall and this like leaning floor, is more modern and definitely seems has been placed here since some other time past the tower's creation.
All right. So, recapping, I see a telescope in the room and what looks to be a chest. Those are the main 2 points of interest.
Main 2 points of interest. At the rest of the whatever was left of this floor have either crumbled away to time or been reclaimed by the marsh.
Okay. So if I step on this floor, is it threatening to completely fall?
It does.
Would I be able to determine that?
It does seem precarious at best. The floor itself, unlike the stones that you have climbed up, have definitely taken to rot, and only half of them remain. Right here, there's about half the floor seems to have fallen into the base of the tower. It may be what was made out of, or what the stanchion and crossbow at the bottom floor were made from.
All right. Am I able to put a bit of weight on the floor to see if it cracks a bit?
You test it carefully as you kind of straddle the stone, and it seems to hold your weight for now.
All right. First off, I'm gonna finish my primary objective. I'm gonna look around to see if I see any surrounding areas.
You have a good look around. Let me pull up my hex map. So you have traveled already today some amount. So you are in the Lizard Marsh, and you are in this hex at the top of the crumbling tower. So you take a look around. Some miles off in the northwesterly direction, you see rising, kind of sloppily out of the marsh, what has to be what you think of as the Sunken Fort. It seems to be tilted and leaning at an angle drunkenly. Some of its towers barely rising out of the swamp at all, some rising much higher. It seems that the front kind of entranceway of it is like drunkenly lapping up at this pool of swampy water, and you're quite convinced that that is the destination that you wanted to go. You take a look around to the north, south, east, and west beyond just looking for that, and give me a perception check to see if you find anything interesting along the way. Or just from your vantage point.
As an 18.
An 18 is pretty good. As you stare from your... excuse me. As you look across from your vantage point, you see to the north the edge of the swamp miles away. But past them in the plains, there appears to be some kind of building rising up, not too much farther than a half day, maybe a full day, depending on the conditions of the swamp away. Looks to be maybe like an old manor of some kind in the plains to the north. To the east, you do not find anything. To the south of you here, you catch a little glimpse of a clearing many miles away in the swamp proper. It's very hard to get a look at what's there, but it does appear to be a kind of opening in the swamp where there, much like where you are now, there is not a lot of vegetation. And to the west... to the west, I think the most interesting thing that you find is miles away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you see the edge of the swamp to the west, butting up against a forest. A true and proper mixed forest with deciduous trees and evergreens standing high and tall and green. And there's seemingly kind of a mix of swamp and forest for a few miles until it turns into a proper forest itself. But there are no there are no landmarks that you see proper other than that.
All right. So am I within shouting range, like talking range? To
Sure.
talk down to the party?
You can shout down at the party. Yes.
I'm relaying all of this, and now I go on with our new founding. We got a chest in here as well. Seems to be newer than the actual fort.
Quick note: are you the one with the rope? Or does,
Yes, I am.
Perfect. Okay. Continue.
Oh, gotcha. I tie the rope and just try and toss it down to the party. I try and find a nice, good old sturdy stone, not the wood because it's rotten. The stone structure to where I can tie the rope around and toss it down to the party.
You spend some time tying the rope up and lending it down to the party. The rope, I believe, is 50 feet even after it's been mended, so it doesn't quite reach all the way down to the bottom, but close enough that, it's within 10, 15 feet at most from your party. They can reach up and get it and assist them on their way up.
All right, so now we're all standing here.
I want to shout up before climbing up. Could you drag the things towards you? And then, lower them? Or is that...
I don't got anything to drag them with, unfortunately.
You can't tie, a loop?
I'd have to go over there, which I'm feeling my luck draining, so...
I think I have someone for this. Servant, servant, please.
Yes.
So you, Churu, climb the rope up to the top. You see the same things Vinny has described to you, and you call for your unseen servant to you've called to drag something across the roof back to you.
Or at least, it could be drag. He has 2 strength. I'm not too sure he can do this.
Yeah, that's what I was looking up. I'm not entirely certain.
I was wondering if you could tie something around to the chest so I could pull it.
Take the rope that's been tied to the stone. Yes, they can definitely do that. The unseen servant glides across the rotting floor and begins tying the rope to the chest, you said?
Yes, exactly.
It ties it around the chest firmly and tautly so that you can drag it back to you.
I drag it. I'm like, thank you, servant. Could you stand on that bit of rotting wood there?
All right. You begin dragging the chest across the rotting wood. It will come to you as you do so. The chest scraping across the wood. And you are able to retrieve the chest, but unfortunately, to retrieve the chest, it causes the collapse of the rotting wood floor around you, and it falls into the tower floor below, some 60 feet. The wood comes crumbling down. The scaffolding that held the magic telescope comes crumbling down, and it shatters into pieces on the ground floor below. But you have held onto the chest and have retrieved it, and it is yours. The chest
Crying
itself.
for that I'm crying for that telescope. Wow.
If I see that
Especially when you-
telescope crushing down, then I will definitely run over there, like, I assume it's falling into the tower, and see if there's any pieces of glass or anything that can be salvaged.
Oh,
with
it
the
is.
landing
It has
cantrip.
been. It has been crushed and fallen. The glass on either end of it broke. The metal has broken into many pieces. You could salvage pieces of it, but as a usable,
Crying.
functionable thing, it is gone.
What's really nice
No,
is that
if-
you. Sorry.
If I mean, I'm not going to change anything. I drag it over, but I cry for that, you know. I probably would have sent the unseen servant to retrieve the telescope if it was crashing too much, but then again, you did describe it crashing, and I didn't stop you. So, I mean, it is what it is. So we have to live with that. I just inside die a bit, like just a little bit.
Does the chest have a locking mechanism on it?
The chest is not locked. It is a simple iron chest with very little marking on it and a simple latch that you can just flip open.
And we do.
And you do. Inside of
Have we
it,
gotten the,
huh?
I was wondering, have we gotten the chest to the bottom of the tower, or should we just open it up there?
You can do either. It's a simple matter of lowering the chest down,
Yeah.
untying it, then lowering yourselves down one by one with the rope.
Yeah, we do that.
like
Then,
lowering it.
then we open
Okay.
it.
So it's trivial at this point to have retrieved the chest down to the bottom of the tower, and you open it down there amongst your party members. Inside the chest is a cache of coins and gemstones, worth a total of 1,500 gold pieces.
How much does it weigh?
1,500.
1,500 total gold pieces.
I'm amazed. Wow, 1,500.
Yeah.
This is
Um,
great. This is great. This is
The
wonderful.
chest itself is quite heavy, but the coinage inside weighs 30 pounds. Amongst the gold pieces, you find a fetish that has been crafted out of silver, iron, and these large feathers. The feathers themselves are of a beast that you don't recognize and are about the length of a human forearm. And they are silky and black, like almost glossy inside. There are also a number of figurines carved out of obsidian and carefully made in the form of goats.
Coats.
We can
Wow, that's
investigate
interesting.
this, but I would
That's
not
fascinating.
investigate it here. We have a large
let's go.
telescope that crashed down. We have kobolds underneath.
Oh yeah, they're gonna hear that. Let's book it.
The alarm spell is still up. This should be the only way out, at least that we know of. So I assume they have not caught on yet. The trapdoor
There were
is
two
there's
ways.
something heavy on that.
There were two ways
But-
inside that cabin.
Yes, the trapdoor, I think we put something heavy on that, so no one should get through there. And the alarm spell hasn't triggered yet, so no kobold should be up now. But we should go now, so that doesn't happen.
All right,
Let's
let's
just stick everything on the mule and
let's
run
load
away.
this onto the mule and be on
Yeah,
our way. Do
I
you want to
would
continue?
I would like to divide this up between us as soon as possible, because I know what it's like when all your stuff is on the mule and the mule doesn't come back. So, but it doesn't need to be now. So what was it again? I need to note it down. There were the
There's-
obsidian.
There's 1,500 GP worth of gemstones and coins. There was obsidian carved statuettes of goats. And there are There's a large fetish crafted of iron, silver, and black feathers about the size of a human forearm.
Okay, large fetish. How many figurines again? Sorry.
There are 3 figurines.
Okay, obsidian figurines. Can I get like a weight for these so that Amio is not encumbered?
The coinage the coinage and gemstones will weigh 30 pounds. The figurines are each heavier than you expect, even though they are made of obsidian. They weigh a pound each, and the large feather fetish is a pound.
Okay, that should be alright.
I am enamored by the fetishes.
Yeah. Well, it's a single fetish crafted from multiple feathers and iron and silver.
Yes.
Let's find a
okay.
place to rest and then we can investigate.
All right. I guess we see the tree line that we came back towards.
Yeah, you can
Do we
continue in the northwesterly direction that you were initially heading towards if you'd like, or you could go back.
Do we want to rest towards the Sunken Fort because I know where that is right now, or do we want to rest a little bit back?
I suspect there are more kobolds in there, but I would at least like to scout it out, and then we can still go back.
Yes.
All right. So the plan is to go a little bit out for like 10 or 15 minutes, see what's what, and then go back. Is that agreed? Is that what we're doing?
Go.
I would like to see the fort itself. I would like to see it, but not. I suppose we don't have the time for adventuring all it to completion, but just to get there and.
Yeah, I would like to get there and see the outside, what it looks like, if we
Yeah.
maybe see kobolds around or whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't need to go in, but I would like to be there.
Mm-hmm. You said how far away was that Sunken Fort from here?
It seems to be a number of miles. You think that it would... you would estimate that it is about... Oh, you would estimate that it's about 12 to 18 miles away, depending on how good you are at calculating. Probably a day's worth at a slow pace through the swamp away from you.
All right.
Yeah,
So what say us? Head off.
Go.
All right.
Go towards.
You continue on towards the swamp. Any change in pace for your day, or are you just continuing at the same slow pace you started
Activity
with?
probably.
Okay, that sounds good. And you continue on. I don't remember if there was an encounter for the rest of the day after this, so I'm gonna re-roll it. What's the mood like in the party as you have moved on from this fort? You've gained some treasure. You've seen some kobolds. What's it like as you continue out for the afternoon travel?
For Narrow,
man.
it's... for me, it's this weird mix of exhilaration of having the treasure and exploring this. Kind of like still being on the edge. For the first mile, I'm still listening if the alarm goes off, because then I would still hear it. And also a bit of sadness because the telescope broke. That's just sad. But all in all, the happiness, I guess, wins out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's much the same. It would have been nice to have had a better look around the tower and maybe not lost the cool telescope, but we have lots of money, which can be used for goods and services.
True cares not so much about the money found because he's already rich. He's really sad for the telescope. Like, he thought there was a really cool find, but now he's just enamored kind of by the fetish and it kind of like tribal. I'm assuming kind of tribalish, shamanish type thing it looks like, and he's just kind of like staring at it like some like just focused on it and just looking at it like feathers, what does this mean? Interesting. You know?
Absolutely.
Is it,
See any similarities between the fetish and what you've seen on the lizard folk earlier? And maybe like the feathers, that seems like a thing lizard folk like in other games. Or is it completely unique from anything you've seen before? That's, I guess, a question for Greg on the other half,
Okay.
which I don't know if
It
it's
is.
okay.
It is of similar make, right? It appears to be something that is intended to be worn. You would assume just by its size, probably as a headpiece, or I guess for a very, very large things necklace. It has many feathers and this kind of like circlet of iron and silver. And yes, it is reminiscent of, though not identical to, what the lizard folk wore. It definitely is of different material than what Churu would have maybe caught a glimpse of in his fever dream of sleeping in the honeysuckle on the shaman.
Interesting.
So, as you are walking through the swamp here, you have rolled an encounter. I want to know what everyone's passive perception is.
13.
Mine is
13,
12.
10, 12.
11.
13, 10, 12, 11. You are all surprised, maybe enamored by your new treasure, maybe by the events of the day having gone as well as they have. Whatever it is, your heads are in the cloud, and you are surprised as you hear this like loud croak. And a tongue lashes out at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Churu, you are attacked by this mighty toad-like creature that has erupted out of the mud and muck and swamp, croaked loudly and slapped at you with its tongue. Let me find the creature here. I don't know why I closed it. And it makes a attack with its tongue to grapple you. It rolls at a +6 with a 9, but with advantage because you are surprised. A 26. Being surprised really sucks. The tongue hits you, and you will not take any damage, but you are grappled by this thing, and it begins pulling you in. You are pulled 10 feet closer to the giant toad-like creature that has erupted out of the swamp, and you are like right next to it, wrapped by the tongue. As this happens, 2 more large toads glomp up out of the swamp, and I believe we must roll for some initiative. Do you guys want a battle map for this, or does this theater of the mind look fine for you?
either
I
way
don't
works for
necessarily
me.
need one.
Should be fine then.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Then go ahead and roll me some initiatives. Excellent. We have 19 for Neryl. We have 14 for Vinny, 15 for Churu, and 16 for Wolfbeard. And the giant toads will all go on initiative 13. Okay, so the first to react to this is Neryl. These large creatures have pulled themselves out of the muck, and one of them has wrapped its tongue around your friend Churu, restraining him. What do you do?
How big do these look?
They are large. They are as big or bigger than the like draft horses that you have seen around
Then
the town.
Then sleep will not do. Then a magic missile, the one that has Churu grabbed.
All right, you point your fingers and magic missiles erupt from them. Go ahead and roll me some damage. Oh, 12.
Nice.
You strike him very well. They rip into the flesh of the creature. You see like a pustule-like ooze kind of make its way into the muck and mix with it. But the creature holds fast with its tongue.
I
Excellent.
will
Yeah.
use my movement to just get away from the toads that I can see at least. So no one gets immediate too quickly.
Okay.
This is 25 feet.
You attempt to move back your 25 feet. Excellent. That brings us to Wolfbeard. You've seen this assault happen, and one of the toads has been magic missiled. What do you do?
I pull out my axe. It's a hand axe. And I run over to, how do you say his name, Churro? And I start hacking at the tongue, trying to get him free.
Ooh, we're gonna hack at the tongue itself. All right. Go ahead and roll to hit. I'll adjust the AC for the tongue.
Right, let's go. No.
Oh, no. You do not strike the tongue. You do strike the tongue. Your axe hits it, but what it is it's just a tougher muscle than you were expecting. And even though you, like, strike the tongue, you only manage to cut it a little bit. You don't hack through it, and your friend is still wrapped by it. And now you are both next to this large beast.
So, narratively, of course, I keep trying to get through the thing.
Absolutely, yeah. You keep hacking at it, trying to break through it, but you cannot. Excellent. That brings us to Churu. You are restrained, caught up by the tongue of this creature, being dragged in by it. You can attempt to escape the grapple with a strength athletics or dex acrobatics check, but otherwise can take no other action.
I would definitely try to escape, not with a strength one, but with a dex acrobatic one.
Okay, the DC to escape this toad's grapple is 17.
Oh, perfect. Let's see.
Yes, you do! You wriggle free! Blah! Jumping out of the toad's tongue, getting maybe the axe from Wolfbeard softens it up just enough, and you wriggle free and are unable to be swallowed. Excellent.
Oh, thank you.
That brings us, Vinny. You're the next to go. The whole party beat these toads in initiative.
I was wondering
Alright.
if I could do bardic inspiration or
Yes, that's
As a
that's a
bonus.
bonus action with your like voice. Yeah. Who are you inspiring?
I toss one at Vinny because since he's about to go right now. I'm like,
Absolutely.
Vinny, you can do it. Hit someone.
All right.
Very
I'm up.
inspiring.
So the toads are like one in front, one to the left, one to the right. How they position?
So the three toads, one of them, yeah, basically they've kind of come up, two on either side and one in front of the party here. Yeah.
All right. So I will take a shot at the one that's already been struck with my hand crossbow.
Okay.
And as I shoot, that's a 21. I don't think I need bardic inspiration for this.
Okay. You go
And-
ahead and roll to hit then with a 10.
damage.
All right, your
And-
crossbow bolt strikes true. What were you saying?
And I exclaim to the party, "Are we running?"
All right, you exclaim to the party, "We running," and before they have a chance to respond or act, it is now the toad's turn. This big toad is going to try to chomp on Churro. It didn't get to swallow you whole into its acidic stomach, but it'll take a bite at you. And it rolls with a +6. Yes. With a 15, will that hit your AC?
Definitely.
It definitely does. Okay. You're going to take you're going to take 1d10 plus 4 piercing damage. You take 6 piercing damage and an additional 5 poison damage as the bite of the creature is lined with some kind of venom. So take the piercing damage first and then the poison damage. If the poison damage brings you to 0, it will paralyze you but not kill you.
I am paralyzed.
Oh, okay.
I'm 0. Exactly 0.
That's exactly 0. Temur, you are bit by the giant toad, and your body like seizes up, and you are paralyzed by the poison of the creature. Excellent. And then you have 2 more toads. One on one side of the party, one in the front. We'll just roll randomly to see who they attack. The first one will attack Vinny. It is going to take a leap out of the mud. It seems to have a large leap ability getting right up to you, and it will make a similar bite attack. With a 24.
Definitely hits.
Okay. You will take 10 points of piercing damage first, and then 5 poison damage.
Oh, wait a minute. That's 15 in total, right?
That is 15 total.
I'm outright dead.
Well, you're gonna
It does
be. It's 2 separate damages. So you're gonna take 10 and then 5, not 15 at once.
Oh, okay. So I'm
Right.
just paralyzed.
Okay, so the 10 didn't knock you below 0. The poison did.
10 did, yeah.
Okay, so you are bleeding out then, and then. The third one will. Well, there's only 2 people it could attack. It will attack Wolfbeard. Wolfbeard, it jumps at you, takes a mighty bite. For a 10. I don't believe that will hit you. Okay. Excellent. That brings us to the top of the round. Neryl, you've seen 2 of your party members get chomped on by these giant toads. What do you do?
Well, we're definitely outnumbered now, so I will still go 25 feet back from like the general toad area. I will firebolt the one that's already been hit and try to finish that off.
Okay, you firebolt the toad that has been hit with a 13. 13 will strike the armor class of the toad. Excellent. For 2 points of fire, that is not enough to finish it off.
No, I will call to Wolfbeard. I don't think we can fight these. We have to get back.
Right.
All right. And with that said, it goes to Wolfbeard. It is your turn.
So this is a bothersome situation. I don't want to fight these things. I don't want to leave Churu behind. So I'm gonna, I guess, disengage and try, like, dragging him away.
Okay. You
Yeah, where that goes.
You disengage, and you have a movement. Carrying objects, picking up objects is usually part of your move. I would say that Churu counts as an object now that he's paralyzed and has no agency of his own. So yes, you disengage from the toads and begin dragging Churu away.
Yeah, and I want to like try to wave them away with my Morning Star, which obviously they won't care about. But, okay.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
Back.
That is your turn. That brings us to Churu. You are paralyzed by the poison and not bleeding out. Vinny, you were knocked unconscious by the bite, not the poison. So go ahead and give me a death saving throw.
That's a 13.
That's a pass. Excellent. As a 1 success for you. Excellent. That's the toad's turn. You're taking away the toad's meal. Oh, but they have another one. This one's not paralyzed. Let's see. What will the toads do? Do they just keep attacking the party? Yeah, the toads are going to keep trying to fight you guys. There are 3 of them. We will just make bite rolls. We have 2, we have 2 party members. So who gets 2? Neryl will get the 2 attacks this turn. The first attack against Neryl is an 18.
That hits.
All right. So you will take 12 piercing damage.
Let me count. I'm dead.
Oh, are you down?
I'm dead.
12 kills you outright?
I'm -7.
Oh no!
I have 5 HP.
Oh no, Neryl. Okay. Neryl has died from the bite of a toad. That means, unfortunately, these ones are going to... You've disengaged. You're dragging away. No, they rolled very aggressive on their check. They're going to try to bite you, Wolfbeard. Does a 17 hit
17
you?
hits.
Okay. You will take 14 damage.
That knocks me just over, just to 0. I have 13.
The party is all paralyzed and bleeding out. Oh, unfortunately, it appears the fate of Wolfbeard, Vinny, Neryl, and Churu is to be eaten by the marsh, and their gold and other discoveries lost to the lizard marsh. An unfortunate turn of events. That was a promising start to your adventures.
Well, there's one thing that at least some sort of consolation. If we would have turned back instead, we would still have been in the swamp and probably would have still gotten the encounter. So
yeah,
that
we can save those.
This is the fortunes of those who go out in the frontier, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you to you guys for playing with me. Unfortunate way for the end of your characters to come about, but I had a lot of fun playing with you. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves, and I hope to see you guys back exploring the the mists again sometime. It was a good session. Twitch chat, thank you for coming and hanging out. It was a very good time for me. I hope you enjoyed it as well. We will see you for more soon. We have a whole calendar full of dates set, and I don't remember what is the next one off the top of my head. Let me see if I can find it. So the next session looks to be the 7th of May, this coming Friday. We'll have more mists then, and if I don't see you then, hopefully maybe for some just video game streams along the rest of the week. If not, though, have a great rest of your night, day, week, whatever it is till we see you again, and I will catch you all next time. Peace, everybody.